Fire me up, baby! Ah! Let's go! This guy's silky. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can I get you on your feet? I need everybody up. We've got a big show today. A big show. We've got a couple of very big guests that we're excited to have on. Joe Bartnick and David Pagnotta will be joining the program today. We had a full slate of games yesterday. A series ended, another one didn't. We're going to be getting into all that and more. There's plenty of news going on around the league as well with it's just drama. It feels like it's just drama in Vancouver and Detroit. I mean, dude, it's like a soap opera. Justin and I are going to be getting into that. I'm Lee Grossman. This is Justin Lynch with us as well. Raven Gasser on the ones and twos, and Tassos Kirkos. Before we can get into this show, please, if you guys would help us and do a few things so that we can continue to bring this show to you. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't. Turn on those post notifications on the YouTube because we are going live almost every single night. This is the first night we haven't streamed in what feels like a decade. So you got to stay up to date, knowing when we're going live. We do these shows every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Follow the Instagram. It's a great way to stay in the loop. Follow the Twitter, the TikTok. If you're on Apple and Spotify, go ahead and give us a 5-star rating and review. All that's, yeah, exactly as Justin showing you. All that stuff helps us out very, very much. Justin, I know we're going to get into it on this show. I know we've got series to talk about. I know that you're going to hit me with an I told you so because of that Edmonton win. And so I think my plan here is to just push that off as far as possible. And so let's start with news. Can we start with news?
All right. Yeah.
The Vancouver Canucks yesterday announced that their head coach, Rick Tocchet, will not be returning for another season. They had a press conference. Where is Quinn Hughes? What's going on? Where do the Canucks go, man? Justin, are they cooked?
Yes. And you know what? I don't feel the slight bit bad for them whatsoever. I think the situation that they're in right now is entirely self-induced. I mean, they had an all-star team, like 6 players in the all-star game, like a little over a year ago, right? I mean,
literally.
they had that amazing season last year, second round of the playoffs, like I think almost 50 wins, like an incredible season. And then you miss the playoffs and everybody's leaving and falling off, except for Quinn Hughes. And now you're letting go of your coach who kind of brought you that success, who definitely wasn't the problem. So, and Rutherford's been reaching out to Quinn Hughes and has not answered his phone calls. I think he said he joked that he was hoping he was golfing or something because normally he returns his calls. So I reckon he's probably not golfing and that he's probably not returning those calls for a reason. He's probably not a very happy camper over there in Vancouver. It seems like nobody's really happy over there in Vancouver. It seems like it's just a really well-run organization at the moment where players definitely, if everybody wants to leave Vancouver, it wouldn't really make sense for anybody to want to go there. But anyway, that's another topic for another time. I guess the delusional Hockey Vancouver Twitter people have nothing to say right now. But I think my overall thesis statement here is, yeah, Vancouver is in shambles. They're cooked. I don't really see where they go from here. I think they're kind of going to be forced to rebuild, and I don't think that's going to go well for, your franchise player there. Quinn Hughes is going to stick around during that process. Who knows? And in terms of Rick Tocchet, we'll see where he goes from here. That is another name added to the list, I think, if you're the Blackhawks, right? I mean, if it's not Mike Sullivan, probably a pretty good number 2 or 3 guys. So definitely somebody that should at least be interviewing for sure. Yeah.
There's so many vacancies in the NHL right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm starting to lose hope that we're going to get any of these guys. But before we get into that, can we play this clip of Jim Rutherford for the Vancouver Canucks from his press conference yesterday?
Your captain, and knowing how he felt about Rick, I think most of the players felt as Quinn felt about Rick. Do you worry about what their long-term ramifications would be with him wanting to stay?
Yeah, well, I hope he's playing golf, because he usually returns my calls right away, and I called him within a half an hour after I talked to Rick. So he hasn't called me back yet. Knowing how he feels about the coach and that he's a sensitive guy, I would suspect that he feels like I do, that we're disappointed. But knowing the maturity of Quinn, he will make the adjustment necessary. But they did have a very strong relationship, a very good one. And Quinn had a lot of respect for him. And Talk had a lot of respect for Quinn. So
You had a
I mean, dude, the Canucks might be cooked, man. I mean, also in that press conference, Rutherford stated that Quinn Hughes has made it clear that he wants to play with his brothers, and he was like, that's kind of out of our control unless we bring the brothers here. But I think as of right now, it seems 10 times more likely that Quinn Hughes is going to be going to New Jersey rather than Luke and Jackie coming to Vancouver in this shithole that they've got going on.
I'm sure those two are packing their bags as they speak of that Devil's elimination on the way to Vancouver there. Yeah, no. So, yeah, I mean, it's funny. We've been joking about that a lot in this show, but it does seem like it's a pretty realistic possibility that Quinn Hughes, the three brothers, will be reunited in New Jersey, which that'd be pretty fun. That'd be pretty cool to see. And good for the Devils. That's a franchise, and I'm okay with. They can, that'd be kind of fun to watch, from that perspective. So, and for Vancouver, yeah, it could have happened to a nicer fan base. Could have happened to a better franchise. 50 years, no cups. Nobody wants to go there. They haven't won a single thing. Haven't accomplished anything. Always getting the sloppy seconds of the Hawks in the 2010s. Yeah, sorry. Bedard is happy that's no longer his home. He loves in Chicago. So all you Vancouver fans can, go have a nice evening over there.
I mean, I feel bad for them, to be quite honest. I also don't know why Rutherford.
I don't feel slightly bad for them.
I don't know. I don't feel slightly bad for them.
Yeah, I feel no remorse
because of the battles that we had in the early 2010s. Yeah, it is hard, but. I mean, I don't know why Rutherford would even bring up that he couldn't get a hold of Quinn Hughes in that press conference. I really don't. Like, maybe you should have just kept that to yourself, because I would imagine the entire fan base is in full-on panic mode. I mean, the Instagram CIA intelligence people figured out that he was at the I think he was at the Knicks game yesterday, so that's probably why he wasn't like responding to the calls. But I would have just kept that hush. Like, I don't want the fan base knowing that our franchise player, the cornerstone of our entire organization, wants to go to New Jersey to play with his brothers. That would stress me out.
Just sparking more dialogue, right? More speculation. It's like that's all that team has seen this past year is drama, and that's just creating more of that. So, yeah, I don't know. Again, for Vancouver, definitely, I'd say of franchise in the NHL, you could argue there's none that has probably been involved in more drama over the past year than Vancouver. So we'll see where they go from here. But yeah, it definitely feels like their window here is closed. They're going to have better another rebuild or something, and that could be a very long process there. So. I mean, maybe that's another team that should be in Mr. McKenna next year. Yeah,
it's just been so nuts. Like, given where they got last year, as you mentioned, how good of a season they had. I mean, they pushed the Edmonton Oilers to the absolute brink in Game 7 of that series. Didn't get it done, and then this year they come back in, and you got all this drama with Miller and Petey, and then you bring in Hedel, and he gets injured, and you've got all these injuries, and then all of a sudden it's Tockett's out, and Quinn Hughes is probably going to be out.
Besser's going to be gone, right?
Besser's going to be gone too.
So you have Pettersson left, and he hasn't exactly looked like Elias Pettersson of late. So yeah, that's their guy. That's their driving force there. Good luck.
The only thing they have left is $11.5 million Elias Pettersson. So
if that's your Demko, I don't know if he's going to stick around there too. So yeah, I mean, that's basically all they have left, or all they are going to have left. Yeah.
Is Rick Tocchet is that like a coach you would actually want for this young Blackhawks team. I don't even think it. I've heard so many things of like him in Philly or him in potentially Pittsburgh. Like I don't see a world where he leaves that Canucks situation and comes to the Blackhawks, to be honest with you. I don't know if you feel differently about that. I can't imagine he'd want to come to Chicago.
And here's the thing too that we didn't bring up with Tocchet too, is like he was offered a contract that would have made him like the highest paid coach in Canucks history and turned it down. So he doesn't really care about the money. I think he cares about the situation. And yeah, the short term, I think probably the Hawks situation is not the best, probably not a place he'd want to go. Long term, I think it would be a smart investment. But yeah, I don't know if he's really a coach for this like young Hawks team. Like he does seem like a great coach. And yeah, situation in Vancouver, I don't really point him. I don't really think it was his fault. It was out of control. So I think he'd be a good secondary option. Maybe not my number one guy, but like a solid number 2, 3, like I said. But yeah, are the Hawks number one is less? Probably not. There are probably a couple teams you probably consider ahead of the Hawks that are probably closer to playoffs, right? Yeah,
I agree. And but it's just like with Vancouver now, it's just another vacancy. It's another team looking for a head coach. More competition for the Blackhawks because, as I stated, I don't think Tocchet's going to come to the Blackhawks. So it's not like I almost don't even view it as like a potential suitor for the Hawks. I mean, maybe they have an interview or something. I hope Kyle Davidson's,
at least give him a call.
I hope Kyle Davidson's at least picking up the phone and talking to these guys, right?
I would hope so. You would think. Yeah,
but
it's good to have backup plans. Yeah,
it's one of those things that we're just going to have to sit back and watch how it plays out because it's been an absolute television show there in Vancouver. So
the good news is I don't consider Vancouver much of competition for the Blackhawks. It's like if no player wants to go there, I don't think any really coach is going to want to go there either. So look, obviously they're going to have to get somebody. Won't be surprised if it was like I think Manny Malhotra is a coach in their system there. Wouldn't surprise if he was their next guy. That just me speculating, might be within the organization there. But yeah, like I don't really think the Canucks or Vancouver is necessarily a hot commodity at the moment. So that's the good news for the Hawks. Yeah.
Okay. And then shifting away from Vancouver, unless you had any other thoughts, but no. In Detroit land, the wiser plan, as we say on the show, it's a mess in Detroit too. You got
disaster.
You got your captain and your general manager like bickering with each other through the media. I would be infuriated if I was a Detroit Red Wings fan. I think. But let's play the clip. Let's play the clip first.
Okay.
Did I get a lot of feedback on, or any feedback for that matter, on our morale taking a dip? No, I didn't. And again, I will say, like, I'm counting on our best players, our leaders, to give us a bit of a morale boost. That's what they're paid for, and that's the expectation from them. Did I get a lot of?
And so that was Yzerman referring to comments Larkin had made about how the lack of movement at the trade deadline from the Red Wings front office kind of did a little dip to the morale of the team. And Yzerman claps back with the that's kind of on our captain to figure, the leadership
that's your
of
job,
this
buddy.
team. And it's like, where do you stand there, Justin? Like, do you blame the Yzer plan? Is it on like Patrick Kane and Alex DeBrincat and Dylan Larkin to figure it out?
I honestly, I think more people are putting the blame on Larkin. No, I think I put more of the blame on Yzerman. I think I said at the trade deadline, like when the Wings went out and their moves were Peter Mrazek and Craig Smith from the Blackhawks. It's like, that's the move you're making? Like, you have a team that's been rolling on a hot streak, on the precipice of finally breaking that playoff drought, and that's what you do at the deadline to bolster your team. Like, it was a nothing burger of a trade for them. It's like that's what you're going to do. That's all you do. It made no sense to me. And like, that team wasn't good enough on its own to make it to the playoffs. They had to do something else. They had to bolster the club, and he didn't do it. So I put the blame on him. And it's not just that. Like, he's made a few really weird decisions at the depth. Like that Jake Waldman trade made absolutely no sense. Didn't want to comment on that. It kind of deflected that question. And a lot of other just strange moves this offseason didn't really work. I mean, Tarasenko didn't really do much of anything with them this year. So didn't really do enough in the offseason to improve his team. And they took a step back. And I think that's kind of on him. I mean, Larkin, I know he's been there. He's been the captain of that team since 2015, 2016. And he's only seen the playoff series his rookie year and hasn't been back since. And I know there's some Wings fans who question his leadership at times, but they had the Canes. They have to break it to the room. It's not like they're lacking leaders in that Red Wings room.
Yeah.
I don't really think that's the problem here.
They're lacking talent.
Yeah, like they need more talent, right? Like that team alone like, isn't going to do it. Like we said, like they have a good top six, and then that's about it. They have an okay like top two ND. They have no goaltending. Like that's just not going to be a playoff team. They have some prospects coming in, right? But you need to do more. You need to help supplement those guys, and Yzerman hasn't done it. So I think that's kind of on him.
Do you think
Yeah.
part of what it is like when he's brought in like a couple of these guys over the past year or two? Like, I mean, you mentioned Tarasenko, but is it like a situation where, okay, that didn't work out, so I'm not going to try doing that again, like here at the deadline? Like, I'm not going to bother trying to bring in some like cagey veterans to help bolster this lineup, so I'm just going to do nothing and wait for these prospects to come up. Like, I just don't. People keep saying the Yzer plan. I don't know what the Yzer plan even is. Like, what is the goal here? Are you waiting for these prospects? Is that kind of what we're putting all of our eggs in? Is that the basket that we're going with? Or, you know, is it these guys that you've already got? Like, do you think you can win with Larkin and DeBrincat and Kane and Raymond? I don't know what the Yzer plan is. Do you?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Most of the prospects have arrived by now. Like, they still have a few more way in the wings. It's not over yet, but it's like now is kind of the time. Like this season, like they should have been in the playoffs, right? The fact that this is, I mean, how many years of this is now? Like 9 straight years out of the playoffs. Eisner took over 2019, so I guess it's 6 for him. It's taken a long time to start coming to fruition here. I think longer than probably was expected. And yeah, if we're in the same situation next year, like I think the Eisner plan, you could kind of call it done and dusted. I feel like next year is kind of a make or break because like how long are we going to go like this? The same thing over and over again. It's just not working out there. Like I don't know.
Dude, I don't know,
Yeah.
but when I converse with some of these Wings fans on social media, it feels like they're giving them like they want to give them another decade of a leash. Like they're just like, yeah, we
It
believe
feels
in
like
it.
they're starting to lose their patience, though. It does feel like that. Like you're right, there's still a large contingent of Wings fans, probably just because his name is Steve Yzerman. If his name wasn't Steve Yzerman, he was like, I don't know, Joe Schmo over there. I think they'd probably be fed up. But they're willing to give him that leash because of what he accomplished as a player. But it's like we see it just because I know he's accomplished a lot of Tampa Bay too. So like it's not like he hasn't accomplished things at the GM level. But it's like with this Wings team, like it's taken a long time to come to fruition. It's like how much more patience can you have there? Like it's not the same situation as like here, for instance. It's like they've been through this for a long time with nothing to show for it. So I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, I think we have our first guest if we could bring him in. So joining us now is a very, very, very funny and talented stand-up comedian. He has a special out on YouTube and Amazon Prime called A Killing in Chicago, which was filmed here in Chicago. So if you guys are listening, especially you Chicago people, go listen to that. He also is a co-host of a Puck Off podcast as well as Two for Talking. Can we give a warm welcome to Joe Bartnick? Joe, how are you?
Happening.
Do we
How
have
you guys
you?
doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, I forgot to hit the video. Sorry about that.
No worries. No. There he
There
is.
you are.
There
Yep.
he is. How are you doing,
Right on.
sir?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good.
Fantastic.
Good.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for taking the time and coming on. We really appreciate it. We're gonna do some playoff talk with you. But I think it would be foolish of us to not bring, you're a Pens guy. It would be foolish of us to not bring up this Mike Sullivan situation up first. What was your initial reaction to the news? I know that there had kind of been rumors and that this maybe had been brewing for a little while, but what were your initial reactions? And now that it's been a couple days, how do you feel about the situation?
My initial reaction was a little bit of shock and sadness because it seemed like Mike was going to survive another season. Although, if you look back, Dubas was maybe a little cryptic at his postseason press conference about Mike's future.
Mm-hmm.
But Mike reiterated many, many times he wanted to stay. But I think maybe in the end, the differences of opinion are not that Dubas didn't think Mike was a great coach and not that Sullivan doesn't want to stay and be a Penguins coach. Just that maybe Dubas wants to make this be a 2 or 3 year process. And I think Sullivan sees like, hey, let's just offer sheet Matthew Nyes and get 2 guys that can actually play defense, get a sucker to take on Carlson, get Letang to retire, and we're back in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I think Dubas sees more of a bigger picture. I'm much more in the Sullivan camp as far as just keep going for it because I mean, last season I thought, well, But last preseason, I thought, well, we get better goaltending, and we help the power play. We'll be right there. Power play improved greatly under David Quinn's tutelage. Goaltending got even worse, which is almost impossible.
Yeah.
So, I don't think, because the Metro sucks. I'm sorry if that's too much for your radio.
No.
No.
We do.
We
10
swear
times.
all
You
the
can-
time
Yeah,
here.
you can let it fly on here. Don't worry.
Okay, because the Metro sucks. I mean, just look at
Terrible.
the Devils in Carolina. I mean,
Oh.
Jesus Christ, that was terrible hockey. So, I mean, the fact we're so close to like that level of mediocrity,
Yeah.
I think Sullivan has a point. But Dubas kind of has a lifelong contract, so he sees the bigger picture and he sees some of the young kids playing well. And the big question is, how does Sir Sidney Crosby feel about all this?
I was
Probably
going
wouldn't
to
be
be my
thrilled.
next
Yeah.
question for you. Yeah, him and Gino. Like, do you want to sit through that? Like, I mean, how old's Sid? Isn't Sid like 39? Like, what's Sid gonna be doing in 4 years?
He's still looking pretty good. Probably could play for a while.
Yeah, maybe he could.
Yeah,
maybe
I
he
mean,
could.
Sid has 2 years left on his contract right now. Gino, or maybe 3. He at least has 2. He might have 3.
can look it
And
up.
this is Gino's last year, unless he resigns. And my Two for Talking co-host Josh Yowie, he's the beat writer for The Athletic and an incredible writer. No one's dialed in more than him. Literally on our show, Sid was texting him. We did an emergency podcast for Sullivan. He made a point, Gino might not even be, if he wants to, he might even have another year in him, because he played pretty good for a second line center. Now, is he the best second line center in the league? No, but it's $6 million. He still has a lot of Gino magic. He literally just has to NBA it and maybe take a day off here and there, because it seems like every time he'd be dinged for a week, he'd come back and look like Gino for 2 weeks. And then after the Four Nations, he came back. He looked amazing. So we shall see. But I think that's the big question. So now, Biz Nasty and every clueless tool in hockey media for Canada will be like, oh, well, he's going to go play with Nate Dogg.
Yeah,
Oh,
of course.
Sidney Crosby has never once said he's leaving the Penguins. And his 2 biggest heroes are Steve Yzerman and Mario Lemieux. What do they have in common besides being immortals? They all stay with one
Loyalty.
franchise.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess that's true. I just part of me is as just a hockey fan kind of does want to see Sid. I don't want to see Sid finish his career through a rebuild, but I do understand that that mentality of no, he's not going to turn his back on the team that drafted him and whatnot.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Yeah.
No, yeah. Well, I have 2 points to make on this situation, actually, because I think they're both very relevant.
Yeah.
Sid has 3 cups.
Yeah, he's done it.
It's not like no one wants to see Jesus sit in Edmonton for another decade
Yeah.
and lose. It's
Yeah.
like he has his 3 cups. And the second thing is, don't you wish he would have kept Patrick Kane now?
We've thought about that.
It's the Patrick Kane thing for us. That's opening Pandora's box, because it's
I'm not trying to start it more. I mean, it's like, because who does Bedard need more than anything?
Yeah.
He needs a winger like Patrick Kane.
It's true.
I wish we could have brought him back.
It's true, and don't get it wrong. We have talked about it extensively on the show, but I do understand not holding on to. I do think the Sid situation and the Kane situation is different in the sense that Sid's still a point per game. You can still win with Sidney Crosby, whereas Patrick Kane would be a supplemental piece. That's my GOAT, but I mean, he's not putting up 82 plus points next year. But with Sid,
I thought he was one of the Wings' 2 or 3 best forwards.
He probably was, but I think that maybe says more about the Wings than it does.
That's a great
than
point,
it does
Raven.
about him.
The eyes are playing. Yeah, not working out too well.
But I mean, look, yeah, would it be now in hindsight? I don't want to be a hindsight herald, but yes, in hindsight, now that we have Bedard, would keeping Kane around be a good idea? It probably would have been good for Connor Bedard. It probably would have, but our general manager decided that he kind of wanted to be completely out with the old and in with the new, and do his own thing, which I support, honestly, because I want to get back to, look, I know I'm spoiled, right? Like, I mean, and you as a Pens fan too, I mean, you've seen 3 Stanley Cups in recent memory since, you know, the year 2000. We've seen 3 since the year 2000. But like, I want to get back to that. And I do feel as though scrapping it when we did and starting over, I think was the right thing to do. And so as a Pens fan, are you okay with that, or would you rather see Sid and Gino stick around for as long as they can and maybe try to remain slightly competitive, at least for these next couple years?
Well, I think the Chicago Blackhawks are kind of the poster childs for why you don't reduce it all to rubble.
Yeah, I guess.
Because I think if you don't keep a couple of the guys that, have won cups and can lead the way that the younger kids look up to,
Yeah,
you're missing a golden chance for them to. I mean, no, I'm not knocking Kane whatsoever, because I think Kane, and you guys know how much I love Gino.
mm-hmm.
I think, you know, Kane is at the very least the 4th best player of this century. The very least.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it. I'm not counting the McDavid, McKinnon era.
No.
I'm
That's
saying
like
of-
after. That's after. Yeah, I'm
2010s.
with you. I'm
Yeah.
with you. You're
Yeah,
talking
I mean,
about like like the Crosby,
it's Sid,
Ovechkins.
Ovi,
Yeah.
Gino, and Kane.
I would argue 3, but that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
it's
Yeah.
Sid, Gino, Ovi, and Kane. Sid, Ovi, Gino, and Kane. Or Kane, Ovi. You know, is what I'm saying. I put him right there with Gino, if not higher. Is
Okay.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
No, I think if you have to have a couple studs. Like, no matter what happens, if Sid was going to walk away next year, not signing a contract, just be, hey, I'm done. I have 3 cups. I don't need anything else. I was just a big firm believer in keeping Brian Rust. Because Brian Rust has 2 cups. He's younger. He worked his way up through the whole system. He's been Sid's line mate. Yeah, you need someone that can say, oh, I was there. You need someone for you to bring your kids to go see. Yeah, that guy played with Sid and Gino. That guy has 2 cups. Not even for the gate, just for the emotional attachment that when you burn everything down, that people come in like, well, what is the leadership? What is the aura? You know, you got to have that aura still.
That's a fair
So as a
point.
Pens fan, you're not really interested in a rebuild here. You're not looking at Gavin McKenna next year. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we have 5%. It's funny is Canada our 51st state would turn into they would probably be a civil war if the Penguins won another lottery.
Yeah, or the Blackhawks. Honestly, I think people would be
Yeah.
furious
Oh,
if
yeah.
either of those
Oh.
teams won it.
Yeah. We have a theme of getting those generational players every like 15 years or so. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you as far as, you know, Sullivan's out now? You know, I think Sullivan's I know you're going to agree. I think he's one of the best coaches in the NHL. I mean, I think easily top 3 in my mind. As far as the next option, is it bringing in a younger guy, maybe someone inexperienced? Like if Dubas is trying to do somewhat of a rebuild or whatnot over these next couple of years, are you really looking for like a Tocchet in this situation? What do you see as, I know it's, you know, it just happened, but are there any guys that you think maybe makes more sense than others for the job?
Well, you know, I'm a Rick Tocchet guy.
Okay.
Tocchet's come to see my shows. I'm a fan of his. He's a fan of mine. And for being a former Flyer, it's my grandmother would roll over in her grave if she knew I'm a big Tocchet fan, and my grandfather. But I will say this: I want him. Actually, I think he's a very good coach. He loves it. He loved it in Pittsburgh. His 3 Stanley Cups are all from Pittsburgh. One as a player, 2 as a coach. If anything, just so Tocchet isn't the Flyer coach. That's why I would for that
Just
reason.
screw them over.
Yeah. Oh,
Yep.
I mean, the only thing I really care about in sports is the Penguins winning and the Flyers losing. So I mean,
You've seen a lot of
You
that.
got your priorities straight.
Yeah, 1,000%. So I'm a Tocchet guy. He's probably not the greatest pick for the job for working with the younger kids.
Yeah.
I know the guy from Denver. I guess he turned down Chicago.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Ruined our weekend.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I don't think, other than having Sid and Gino, I don't think the Penguins are a much better job, if at all, than Chicago, because I think original 6, big city, unless Chicago was low ball and paying him. I'm not quite sure. I mean, when you have then you have the Seattle jobs open, the Boston jobs open, the Philly jobs open, but that's a whole nother can of beans.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Sullivan turns down the Ranger job, then maybe that's where the Denver guy goes. I think the Rangers are going to get Sullivan. He was assistant coach there.
Yeah.
He's the Olympic coach.
Mm-hmm.
They have more money than
They'll,
God.
Yeah, they'll give him $1 billion if he wants it.
They're ready to win. I mean, coincidentally, we have their number 1 pick. And it was deciding whether they're going to keep it for this year or give it to us next year. And people in Pittsburgh are all like, well, they could tank even worse next year. I don't care if Sullivan's the coach. I don't care who's the coach. The Rangers will be better next year. This year was a tire fire. And Shesterkin's going to be, he's not going to be as bad next year.
Yeah, he'll bounce
and
back.
Quickie is a great backup. Quickie, Sullivan's going to move into, if he gets Quickie's going to be he's better than any goalie we've had since Murray was good. That's like 8 years ago.
Yeah, forever ago.
I mean, he's going to have the 2 Pittsburgh kids, Vinny Trocheck and the
Miller, JT Miller.
Yeah, JT Miller.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Fox is the most overrated defenseman.
I agree.
Ever. It's like it's going to be an asterisk how he won the Norris. Like, how'd that guy? Oh, he's a Ranger. That's why.
Yeah.
Because he's so overrated. But if he can rehabilitate Keandre Miller, that'd be huge. And then they actually traded for 2 guys that play defense that the Penguins should have. Borgen from Seattle and the Saucy guy. So they actually have some defensemen now. I just think they're going to be better. If they have Sullivan, they're going to be much better next year. So I think the Ranger job is the best job to get in hockey right now. And if Sullivan's the best coach out there, I think it's. Oh, and Anaheim's out there. I was begging Rick Tocchet to come to Anaheim.
Anaheim feels like if you turn down the Blackhawk, like I feel like Anaheim and Chicago are in such similar situations. Like they're both kind of coming out of rebuilds. Both have primarily super young rosters. I feel like Anaheim is like the B to Chicago's A. Maybe that's just because I'm biased and live in Chicago and cover the team. But I don't know why you'd want to go to Anaheim and not Chicago.
Well, I'll tell you why. Even though I love Chicago, I was just there. I loved every second of Chicago.
Yeah.
I think the black. I just love the logo.
Yeah.
In the
The jersey. Yeah.
But as far as young talent that's ready to play and win, Anaheim's way ahead of Chicago.
I'd say maybe a year. You think way ahead?
Yeah, I mean, it almost like Chicago got worse this year from what I saw. And Anaheim was, 2 weeks away from. I mean, they were on the fringe of being in the playoff mix.
Yeah,
and the Central's a much tougher division. And don't forget, you get the golf.
That's true.
12 months.
Yeah, the weather's nice.
You get swimming pools.
But
you get everything.
Less pressure.
But but nobody cares.
Way less pressure.
But I guess is that for coaches? Do you think in general they're like looking for the least amount of pressure, or do you want to be a guy? Like, do you want to be the guy? You come to Chicago, you don't go to Anaheim, California.
I agree, but say you have 3 little kids and you have a hot trophy wife.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
She wants to live in Manhattan Beach, or that's King's Country. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. There is pull.
I don't know. I don't think he turned down the Chicago job because he's going to line up in Anaheim. I just don't. I don't know why he turned it down. To be honest, maybe he wants to stay in Denver.
I think he
does.
I think
that's what we think.
I think that's the most likely reason because for him, I mean, he's like 35 years old. He's such a young guy. I do think that his transition to the NHL is inevitable. I just right now, I really don't think there's a better situation for him than Chicago because I mean, he's coached like 5 of the prospects that Chicago has coming up. Like he's familiar with a lot of these guys. He would have a long leash because we're like coming out of a rebuild. It's not like if he were to, I'm not saying he's going to, but if he were to go to a team like the Rangers or the Bruins, it's like they're kind of expecting you to turn it around and win. Whereas that's not the case at Chicago.
No, 1,000%. I also think that just getting back to the Penguins real quick.
Yeah.
I just don't know if the guy from Denver, I don't care how many national championships he's won. Can you really tell Sid and Gino what to do?
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
That's why I think no one they respect no one more than Rick Tocchet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It
Someone
seems
who's
like a good
accomplished,
fit.
has that pedigree, that experience.
It
But
seems like
I'm
a good
sure
fit.
Dubas will. This is one thing, and then we can talk to playoffs, guys.
Yeah.
I will say this. This is the first time since the Penguins hired Craig Patrick that I don't feel secure with the Penguins organization.
Mm.
Not the moving and the bankruptcies and all that. I mean, because we had Craig Patrick, right?
Yeah.
Then in the middle of that, the team was bought by Ron Burkle, one of the richest men in the world, and Lemieux was in charge. And then we had Ray Shero, and then we had JR.
Mm-hmm.
And then even though it still sucks that Lemieux's not in charge anymore, but okay, whatever, FS1 bottom, whatever they're called. But we still had Sully there.
Mm-hmm. And now Sully.
Sully's,
Yeah.
And now Sully's not there. And it just, I'm not anti-Dubas. I'm not like half the people in Toronto, even though it's not his fault. Look, they're choking again.
What they do.
I'm just not as I'm not guaranteed that Dubas is doing the right thing all the time.
I think that's fair. At the very least, you're being fair with Dubas. I mean, I think the NHL is better when the Pittsburgh Penguins are around and competitive. I mean, just because of the players they've had throughout their histories, it's such a storied franchise. I don't want them to be a lottery team for the next decade. But with that being said, I don't know what direction they're going to go. Wish them all the best. I mean, again, though, you guys, the Pens are kind of like the Blackhawks, where like the rest of the league is not going to feel sorry for us because of the success we've had, and that is fair.
No, 1,000%. I mean, we've had an incredible array of talent and stars and heroes come through here. But here's the funny thing, right? And we get jumped right in the playoffs. Think about this. This who wasn't in the playoffs this year. Boston, New York.
No, the American
Philly,
original six teams.
Pittsburgh, Chicago, Detroit, Buffalo. Who the hell is watching these playoffs except us crazy effers?
Yeah, it's
not good for the NHL.
It's
Not good for business.
It's not.
Yeah.
And something that now that we're kind of doing a playoff discussion, a series I definitely want to talk to you about is the Battle of Florida. There's the social media uproar over all these hits and suspensions or lack thereof has been kind of nauseating for me. Like it annoys the hell out of me that people are just like complaining about the refs every single. It's like oh, Tampa lost because the refs and Hagel got suspended and Kachuk didn't, but people are acting like there's some greater conspiracy with the Florida Panthers. Like the NHL and Gary Bettman are just like, man, we're gonna be set if the Florida Panthers are getting back-to-back Stanley Cups. Like, is that not like an insane narrative to you? Like what you just said, like all these original six teams, all the biggest teams in America are not in the Stanley Cup playoffs. Like,
Lee, I've seen people call like the Kansas City Chiefs of the NHL. Like that makes no sense to me. That's not the franchise you're going to prop up if you're Gary Bettman.
No, they're just making me look stupid because I would have picked the Panthers in any other first round matchup.
Yeah.
But I picked Tampa in 7 because they had home ice. And I thought that that's the one team that could just outskate them and make their legs look old, because you guys know that it's hard to go to the finals 3 years in a row.
It's a lot.
And at some point your legs wear out. And I just thought it would happen. And I just thought Bobrovsky did not look great coming down the stretch.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it'd be tough to integrate Ekblad back, and Kachuk, he's pulling a Kucherov.
Yeah, it's a Mark Stone Kucherov situation.
LTIR merchant.
Yeah, just coming in like, oh no, didn't miss a beat. And I just thought that Tampa was going to do, and it looked to me that Tampa, even before Hagel got knocked out, was 1 or 2 guys short, and it was my mistake. But so we'll still, there's still some hockey left, but Florida looks tough. But I will say this on the 3 hits.
Mm-hmm.
The Hagel hit on Barkov, your star captain, that was cheap. I don't even care about he touched the puck. That was a headshot.
Yeah.
That was a headshot.
Yep.
Okay, so you would give him a game. I don't know if it was worth a game suspension, because they say game's 2, maybe a little touchy. I mean, Paris woke up. I never even saw Paris making hey, Paris, why don't you do this in the regular season? You have to wake up for game 1 of the playoffs. The Kachuk hit, that was late, but he made a point to make it shoulder to shoulder.
Yep.
That is not a suspendable playoff hit whatsoever.
Finally, somebody who agrees with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatsoever.
Yeah.
Then the Ekblad forearm shiver, the Nikita Koloff, if you will.
Mhm.
Okay, that's a game headshot. It's playoff hockey. That's a game. That's where I stand on all those hits. But the Kachuk thing, it would have been a crime if he got suspended for that hit.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree. And there were I was arguing with people on social media. There were people, like actually serious human beings, telling me that there was no difference between the two hits. And I'm like, what are you talking about? There were 5 differences between the hits. Like, yes, Kachuk was a retaliation hit. It was late. It was dirty. Give him the 5 minutes. That's fine. It's not a suspension. It's playoff hockey. This is what we love about the sport. Is it not? Like, is it not? Is this not what we love about hockey? And people are like, oh, it's got to be eye for an eye, tit for tat. Like, if the NHL is going to set a precedent, Hagel's going to... No, the hits are different. Judge these hits. Like, if there's a dirty hit and a guy should get suspended, suspend him. But don't be like, oh, this guy got one, so now this guy's got to get one, right? Like,
especially when there's no head contact.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad that we finally had somebody that agrees with us, Justin, and that it's not just
that's a relief. And keep this playoff discussion going. What's your bracket looking like? What teams do you have going to the finals here? Who do you have winning it? Yeah.
Oh, well, I know. Are we against the clock, or should I take my time, or do we?
It's completely up to you. We don't want to take too much of your time, but like we're not in any rush. Like if you want to talk Cats, this Battle of Florida series more, please.
Oh no, that's my theory. Not my theory. That's what I thought of, and that's my pick. So the other teams in the East, I thought Washington in 6 because I thought Ovi's having too much fun to have the party end right now. Although I knew Montreal, just the ghosts, the echoes always wake up in Montreal, but I thought they did enough to make it so they made the playoffs because it would have been the first time ever that the Habs did not make the playoffs in 4 years. So they did. They made it this year.
Oh wow.
An incredible thing. So I thought
they survived.
I was completely wrong. I was completely wrong on the Devils, Carolina. I thought regular season Rod and his band of hooligans, his band of B+ superstars would not pull it out. But they really, New Jersey. I mean, and Markstrom played his ass off.
He did.
But I love Dumo. But Dumo can't have 30 minutes a game. That's how their defense is banged up. Not that Quinn Hughes is Cale Makar, but they miss him, and they miss another guy. They miss the Polish guy. They pronounce his name 10 different ways. They miss that guy a lot. So,
and Luke Hughes was out too, I think, for New Jersey, and then obviously Jack was out for. Yeah. So Yeah.
So I don't pick upsets just to pick upsets, but I thought Jersey could pull something out. They didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And then Toronto just crapping the bed again. I mean. This is literally. I went on a rant on both my podcasts. I went on a rant to my buddy who's Alex Pavone, great comic from Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, buddy, this is it. You can't have it more lined up in your favor ever. You finally have a good goaltender. Yeah. You finally have 6 legitimate NHL defensemen.
Yep.
You finally have big guys. Nyes, and I love Matthew Nyes.
He's a dog.
I covet thy neighbor's power forward.
Mm-hmm.
And then and they have Holberg and the other big guy, McMahon. They finally got guys with nuts to go along with the big 4.
Mm-hmm.
And they're playing their little brother.
Little bro.
That's like when the Penguins play Columbus.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. It's like it's a gimme. It's a layup.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're gonna play a team that's gonna have been through hell in the Battle of Florida. Then, even if Washington gets through, it's the worst Metro division.
It's horrible.
The 80s. It's the worst team.
It's horrible.
It's the worst division. So if you don't make it to the finals this year, I go.
You're never gonna make it.
Hamilton.
I
mean, it's
hold the franchise.
Never gonna do it.
Yeah.
And then
You have to disband the core four.
the Toronto fans that were like chanting, "We want Florida." It's like, trust me,
You're not gonna get to
trust
Florida.
me, you
Then
don't
you don't.
want Florida. Like, well,
No.
I don't
You're gonna get
understand that
swept
either.
if you-
Yeah, but I mean, they've got them right where they want them. 3-0. I understand not completing the sweep. You know, Ottawa gets it done at home. But I mean, Game 5, that's the one. That's the layup.
Yeah.
That's the no-brainer. It's
It's a series now. Yeah.
And to drop a donut in that game, I mean, how can the doubts like not start creeping in for those guys into those guys' heads, right? Like,
to give up a shorty. Like the
and it was
power play.
Matthews and Marner too. It wasn't like the second unit was out there and like made a bad play. It was an atrocious pass from Austin Matthews.
Yeah, no, it's bad. And then out west, the series I wanted the most is the battle, the Mikko Rantanen Bowl.
Yeah,
and it's funny because I had Dallas all year to win the West, so of course I picked Colorado in 7.
I was the same way.
Same.
I
Yep,
think I was
same.
the same
all
way.
year.
We're all the
I
same.
had Dallas.
Yeah.
And I picked. And so Dallas is looking great. And then I didn't even have Haskinen, but we'll see because McKinnon, we shall see.
Yeah.
And then I picked the Bluesers in an upset.
Wow.
I did pick the Bluesers.
Not a bad look now.
Could happen. Yeah.
We shall see. I mean, Hollenbeck never makes a save in a
Playoff Hollenbeck, no clutch.
Never. Never.
Part of it, there is some truth to it. Like the playoff heli, it's just it hasn't been the same. Like you can't look at the numbers and be like, no, that doesn't tell this. Like the numbers are the numbers. It's true, but I don't think that roster playing in front of them did them any favors in Game 3 and 4. Like I think they were atrocious. They got beat up. St. Louis. Every single time they were in the O-zone, they were getting 2 guys in front of Hellebuck, taking away his vision. Like those defensemen gotta clean it up a little bit for him, I think.
That's true, but if you win the Vezina,
yeah, you got to step up.
You're allowed to see through traffic.
That's true.
And he is Mr. Excuse Maker.
He's the goalie's won games in the regular season. Let's see in the playoffs, right?
Yeah. He's the epitome of excuse making and pointing fingers.
Yeah.
And I thought they were going to be terrible this year because I don't like when a goaltender, after he looks terrible in a playoff series, blames everybody but himself.
Yeah. It's not a good
so
look.
I have no. And in Binnington, say what you want about him, he wins big games.
Yeah, he's the opposite.
It's clutch.
He is the opposite of Connor
See the
Hellebuyck.
4 nations. Yep.
Yeah. In the Vegas Minnesota series, I picked Vegas. Minnesota's giving them way more than I thought they would, and you just forget how at Christmas time, New Year's Eve, Kirill the Thrill was in the Hart Trophy balloting. And then you forget because when he's on that team, it's like, oh my God.
It's a different team. It's a different team. Justin and I have talked about that series so much over the past couple of weeks is because everybody kind of just wrote Minnesota off. And I understand they were brutal down the stretch, but that was because they didn't have. If Kaprizov stayed healthy this year, we wouldn't be talking about Connor Hellebuyck. We wouldn't be talking about Leon Draisaitl. Kirill Kaprizov would have won the MVP this year if he stayed healthy.
Yeah, he would have. And then I picked my mistress in 7, and a bunch of guys I work for on the radio station I'm on in Pittsburgh. They all took my selection to the casino. Now they're all MFing me. They were calling me after game 2. Oh, it looks good. It looks good, Joey B. Looks good. And then the Kings, that idiot coach, he's horrible. He pushed the stone away from the cave, and you let Jesus walk out.
You let Jesus come out. They did.
Was that not the worst coaching decision you've ever seen? It's like
basically threw away the series.
Dude, they just reviewed it. They just looked at it. They just said it was a goal. And you go, oh, I guess we made a mistake. Oh, I don't know. I mean, he panicked. All you got to do is go, guys, we're going to get to overtime, and we just need 1 goal, and it's over.
And Joe, Game 4 was gutless too. They had two goal leads in game 4. Like they could have wrapped it up, and they could have been going back home to Game 5 up 3-1. Like yes, the decision in Game 3 was shocking. Like honestly, maybe a fireable offense. But then to bounce back in Game 4, I'm like, oh my gosh, you can't make this up. Bouchard again, 30 seconds left. What a joke! like the second half of the third period in game 4, it was just all Oilers. And so after that game ended, I was like, look, game 5, back in LA, fresh slate. I set myself up for failure, but I was like, there is no way LA loses this. There's no way. They have been.
And they didn't even show up.
And Joe, tell me if I'm wrong. The first 4 games, LA was, it's not even close. They were so much better than them. What did I watch last night?
The only time they were the better team for everything except overtime.
Yeah.
In game 4.
Yes.
They got caved in.
Yeah,
but
they did.
I mean, it's my dad's thing in football. Prevent defense prevents nothing. But I'll tell you, they almost blew it in game 1.
They did.
They let Jesus
Yeah.
put on the clinic.
That was a bad look. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what is going on there. I really don't.
They can't close games, and I don't like. What do you do if you're LA? Like, is it the players? Is it the coach? Do you need to blow the whole thing up? Like,
no, it's
Just
the
can't get
coach.
past Edmonton, man. It's the format.
It's the coach, because I'll tell you why. They're running the same. They're sticking to 3 lines and 4 defensemen. It's only round 1, and your same 2 defensemen are out there. The Graverkov kid, he's playing 35 minutes a game. It's like,
and getting
you can't
torched.
chase Jesus and Leon around half a game.
Yeah,
that's why you're tired in the third. And Downey's an old man.
he is.
You can't be chasing him around for 34 minutes a game.
And we had Dennis Bernstein on who covers the Kings. We had him on like a week or 2 ago. And he had an interaction with Jim Hiller. I think it was after game 4. And he was like, you guys aren't closing. Like, what's the deal? You guys aren't closing games. And he got super testy with Dennis Bernstein. And he was like, got any ideas for me? And it's like, dude, you've blown 3 leads. Like you're blowing all of these games. It's not on the media. Like, I would be shocked if that guy keeps his job, especially if Edmonton wins in 6. What do you see happening in game 6 with all that being said?
I think the Kings are done.
Agreed. Lee, are you gonna try again here? Maybe the second time.
No, I can't. So I came on the show on Monday, and I was just like, I promise you LA wins tomorrow night. I put my legacy on the line. I said, I promise you this team wins. From what I saw in the first 4 games, I'm like, this is the better team. They're back at home, best home record in the league. Surely they're not broken. What I saw yesterday was one of the most shocking performances I've seen in a long. I can't remember the last time I've seen a team do a full 180 like that. They played the entire game like they were trying not to lose.
Well, when's the last time you saw a team be dominated for 4 games and be 2-2? That was the most dominating.
It was.
Like, how are you tied 2-2?
I agree, and so that's why I was like, game 5, surely, like LA's just going to walk them. They're going to be pissed off after blowing 2 leads, the bad challenge in game 3, and then Evan Bouchard magic in game 4, whatever that fucking means. Show some life. Have a pulse. They started the game. Edmonton was out shooting them 10-0 at the start of that game. What the hell happened?
Saw this choke coming. History repeats, man. 4th time we've seen this.
Oh my gosh. All right, Joe. I mean, we appreciate the time. We don't want to take up too much of it. Before you get out of here, can we get a Stanley Cup final prediction? Now that you've seen, if you filled out a bracket, it doesn't matter. From what you've seen thus far into the playoffs, who are you taking in the Stanley Cup final?
I'm just a wish-wash bag of crap. I'll go Dallas.
Okay.
In Florida.
Okay.
I think that would be a banger series.
The beginning of all this, I said Dallas and Tampa Bay. So
okay.
No, I said Colorado and Tampa Bay. I really did. But the beginning of the season, I said Dallas. Here's how wrong I am. I said Dallas and the Rangers. But I was all Dallas until my bracket last weekend, or whatever, before game 1 was. I think Dallas is the most complete team, and Ottinger has a little Halleback in him. Sometimes he gets a little frazzzy. But,
he's been great though. He's been great the past couple games.
In the clutch, he shows up.
Yes, yeah. Usually he does. The one year he was tired. Like I'm totally wrong now, but I thought beginning of all this, the winner of the Florida Tampa Bay series was my pick for the East.
Yep.
And with Toronto being the wild card, and my winner for the West is the winner of the Colorado Dallas
Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
With the Kings being the wild card.
Mm.
But,
Well,
we shall see.
I think you were onto something with those other two series. I was saying the same thing. Like I viewed the Colorado Dallas game as the Western Conference Finals, and I viewed the Battle of Florida as the Eastern Conference Finals. In round one, can we give up this this divisional playoff format already, please? I don't want to see the conference finals in the first round. Can we go back to 1 versus 8?
Yeah, Batman's not going to do that. Hey, I'm old enough to remember when it used to be 1 versus 16.
I'd take that over this.
Wouldn't that be great, though?
I'd take that over
fun.
this.
That'd be so much fun.
Oh, my gosh. All right, Joe.
Then haul it back to the. Hey, I think it's still lose to the Bluesers, right? They
Yeah.
were probably the 6th.
Yeah, it still would be, I think, right? Because they won the President's Trophy, and then the Blues were probably last. Yeah, so
Right.
they'd still get cooked. So result wouldn't change for them, but maybe some of these other teams, they wouldn't have to play an absolute wagon in the first round.
For sure.
Can't wait for the 5th year of Kings Oilers next year. It's gonna be fun.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my
Give me
God.
a break, please. All right. Well, Joe, we appreciate you so much for coming on. We'd love to have
Anytime.
you.
Let's,
thank
awesome.
you.
You guys are
Appreciate
great.
it.
Easy to talk to. Easy to talk to.
Awesome. Good.
thank you.
We appreciate that. We'll talk soon then. Okay.
Right on.
All right.
Have a
Take care.
good one.
Guys.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. That was Joe Bartnick. Awesome interview. Yeah. I mean, that's a guy you could just talk puck with forever.
Yes.
We appreciate him for coming on. Okay. So what's the plan? Should we hit a quick break?
We're gonna hit a quick break.
Okay. Yeah. Because we got a ton
All
of
right.
stuff coming up on the other side. So keep it here. We'll be back in just a second. Welcome back. Welcome back, Chicago Hockey Radio. We filmed another Mount Rushmore, and I checked the results last night. I was looking pretty good, if I remember correctly.
Well, I do remember. I lost again. I've lost
No
two straight Mount
way.
Rushmores. Thankfully, I stat had a pretty nice lead there, so I should be safe. I'm not really worried about finishing last, but my lead is definitely shrinking a little bit. Where'd you finish? You finish?
I won.
You won?
I won. Thank you, Raven. Hit that horn again. One more time. Yes. I finally won. Thank you, Chicago Hockey Radio enjoyers, for finally delivering me my first W. of the
Lee
season.
won and I lost. Is this opposite day today?
I know. I don't know what happened, but you guys are. I think you're gonna enjoy this one. Let's throw it over to guys who never won the Stanley Cup, Mount Rushmore edition.
All right, everybody. It is the Mount Rushmore of players who have never won the Stanley Cup. Faceless Tassos Kirkos here, but we have Tim Tebow on the blue couch representing Team Raven and Tim.
What's up?
And Lee and obviously Justin on Zoom right now. Okay, I have the first pick overall in this one, followed by Lee, and then followed by Justin, and then followed by Tim. How you guys feeling going into this one? This is a pretty
solid. Got a good list here. I think it's a good one. It's a good topic, so I think I feel pretty good about it.
I won the last one, so you know.
I finished last, actually. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I've never finished last before, so that wasn't great, but looking to rebound here. Yeah.
All right, I'll just kick it off. 1-1. This is a tricky one. This is not a very easy draft to do. I don't feel like there's a clear 1-1 here. I'm gonna pick the player that I want to pick in my heart. 1-1, Jarome Iginla.
I was gonna say if there was a one, that was probably the guy. Yeah, that's what's gonna make this one tough because I feel like there's not gonna be like one list that clearly stands out. I feel like all could be pretty close.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I'm gonna
That's where puck knowledge comes in. Sorry.
I'm gonna take Joe Thornton at 2.
All right. At 3, might be a little early for this guy, but I'm looking for votes here. Give me JR, Jeremy Roenick.
Really?
Yeah,
All right.
looking for votes. Hawks fans love JR.
Is he like?
Do they?
Do they? Yeah, I
Do
was gonna
they?
say, do they?
I feel like we've done nothing but.
I mean, he
slander
has
Jeremy
his
Roenick on the show.
controversy, but I mean, the
I
old
love
school
him. I
fans
do love him.
Yeah,
I do
maybe
love
the modern fans not as much, but
Yeah.
the old school fans love JR. Yeah.
All right, to you, Tim.
And I've got 2, right?
You do have 2.
All right. I think with my 4th overall pick, I'm going to take Lundqvist.
Good pick.
That's-
And then for my next pick, screw it. Let's go Dale Howardchuk.
literally the two guys I was thinking of next.
You're welcome.
Well done.
Thank you.
All right. Again, might be a little early, but Lee did take Thornton, so I think logically Patrick Marleau would be a good bet. Yeah.
It's a good pick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take. Oh gosh, I'm between two guys here. What are the people gonna vote for? I'm gonna go Carey Price.
Yeah. Good one.
I'm gonna go Roberto Luongo.
Yeah, that's who I was
That's
between.
Thought about
Should
that.
I have taken Luongo over Price?
I mean, Price is probably the better pick, but Lou's pretty popular.
Yeah, that's what I was torn. I don't know.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Tassos has got two here, right?
Yes, I do. And with the second one, give me Joe Pavelski.
Oh,
There's a couple legends on the board still.
yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I'm moving away from legends and
That tends to go well for Lee.
yeah. So I'm not doing that shit. And no active players. I'm gonna go with Daniel Alfredson.
Let's make it good. All right, next pick. I mean, I'm kind of shocked. He's a legend. I'm gonna go for a legend pick. Why not? Marcel Dion. There you go. Shocked he hasn't been picked yet.
I know.
I think regarded by many as the greatest player to have never won the cup.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the thing is the reason why I did not take him at all is because we're gonna post this fucking graphic and it's gonna be a black and white picture of him and nobody's gonna bat an eye.
He's gonna know who he is. Exactly.
Yeah.
I know. Fuck knowers will know who he is. Yeah. I'm picking on JR. That's the vote getter. The rest could be who I truly believe.
Is it me next?
It is.
All right.
The last two picks.
I think I'm gonna go Matt Sundin and Claude Giroux.
Still active.
He's still active?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then I will do Pat LaFontaine.
Okay.
Still active. No.
All right. Back to Justin with his last pick.
In between a couple here. Another one might not everybody might know, but like he's an obvious pick. I mean, one of the best playmakers of all time. Give me Adam Oates.
Mm.
Yeah. I don't know if this one's gonna win, but it hopefully won't finish last.
Has Pavel Bure been taken?
No.
Okay.
No.
That'll be my final pick.
Oh, that's a good one.
Last pick in the draft. There's a lot of pressure here.
Still so many good ones available.
Yeah, there are some good ones available. All right, since this is the last pick, can I take the Sedin brothers together?
No. You wish.
Why?
Cause
They're basically the same person.
Henrik or Daniel?
Well, in that case, I'm going to go neither.
Okay.
Give me Gilbert Perot.
Yeah, I thought the Sedin brothers too, but for that reason, it's like if I pick one, another one's gonna go, and I just couldn't to pick between them.
I also don't know how popular the Sedin sisters would be
To the
with our
Blackhawks
Blackhawks
fandom.
audience.
Yeah, not very popular.
Other guys.
Man, I couldn't stand those guys as a kid.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions, we got Mike Gartner, Daryl Sittler, Phil Housley, Boria Salming, Peter Stasny. Brent Burns is still active. Daniel and Henrik Sedin, obviously. Mark Howe, John Rattel. Yeah. I think we got a lot of the main guys.
Yeah.
I think we got like
I
the
think
10.
so.
We
Yeah.
got like pretty much all like the more recent, like early 2000s guys.
Cool. All right. Well,
Sweet.
that was a good one. All right. Should we send it back to the show?
Yeah,
Catch.
let's do it.
All right. Let's do it.
All right.
Welcome back. How'd you guys enjoy that? I'm a winner. I am a champion. If you guys, any of you were watching the live stream last night, Tassos like texted us the picture of the of everybody's Mount Rushmore, and we were talking about how damn he kind of did Justin dirty.
Oh,
And a
yeah,
little
'cause
bit
I-
of gamesmanship.
I picked JR because I assumed that he put him in a Hawks jersey in the graphic and that would get all the votes. And he put him in a Philadelphia Flyers jersey.
Ah, and he looked so like ginger in it too. It just like, is that Jeremy? Like, if you see that picture, you almost, it's so
It's
jarring.
like he
You
picked
almost
the worst picture Jared could have possibly found. And yeah, he's using all the burner accounts and they're probably to vote for all of them. That's not me. So, you can do anything you want over there to try to, hold me back and beat me. But it's only going to be temporary. I will prosper. You can't beat me. So I may have lost the battle, but I won't lose the war.
Oh my gosh, dude, that is too far. I was just like laughing so hard, and I obviously couldn't expose what was like funny about it on the show because I didn't want to like
Yeah.
did the integrity of the Mount Rushmore. I have to keep it intact, and we have to wait till this show to talk about it. But yeah, happy to get the win. I'm appreciative of Tassos having a little gamesmanship and screwing Justin over a little bit because honestly, not a bad pick. You did come in last though, so
Yeah.
I don't know if Blackhawks Jeremy Roenick would have gotten you in first, but
Yeah, and honestly, it was a pretty big gap. It might not have made a difference. I couldn't believe how, like, you would have thought I picked the worst team ever for me to have that much of a gap. Like, I thought it was a pretty good team. Maybe
It
not
was
the
solid.
best, but like the worst, again, the same deal as last time. Now I'm starting to get the lead treatment here. I know how it feels.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I have some sympathy for you. Maybe I'll go a little easier on you today, knowing how that feels.
Oh,
No, actually, I probably won't.
ah, you fucking asshole. Yeah, I think it's like the more recent players you get, the better.
Yeah.
Honestly, with
Yeah.
a lot of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start with we don't know, by the way, we might not have David Pagnotta coming on, turns out today. So if he joins and we'll conduct the interview and it'll be great. And if not, Justin is just going to probably yell at me for the Oilers Kings game for the rest of the
That
show.
sounds like a plan.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
either way, kind of a
It's
win-win.
a win-win. Yeah.
I will say I just saw some news on Instagram that said, don't be surprised if John Cooper joins
saw that.
the Utah Hockey Club. What the hell?
Yeah, after next year. Yeah, so there goes that delusion, right? I know there are a lot of Hawks people on Twitter that were like hyping up. I never thought that was going to happen, like John Cooper to the Hawks. Like that just seemed like a dreamland scenario even I couldn't fathom. So we'll see what happens there, right? If he sticks with Tampa, or a lot of pride depends on what they do. Obviously not just this year, but next year. But they're probably going to be golfing pretty soon, probably after today anyway. So that kind of seals their fate this year. But next year, maybe they can respond. Probably not.
But why the
but yeah,
club? Why the
I think
club?
he's like friends with their owner or something. That's what I heard. Like he's friends with Ryan Smith, so some sort of connection. I don't really know what it would be. I don't know if it's necessarily the coach or like it might be a different role in the organization. I just saw the headline and like a little bit. I haven't really read too much up on it because I just saw it in between the break there. But that's the gist I got of that. So, but for Hawks fans, it's probably good to bring that up because I know Cooper's been thrown around a lot in terms of coaching, but not really a viable. A great option, but not really a realistic option, unfortunately, for the Blackhawks.
Yeah, because that's a guy that would literally be able to go wherever he wanted to.
Yeah.
If if he was leaving Tampa, he could probably pick and choose whatever team. And so
yeah, Utah Hockey Club,
Yeah.
probably gonna be Utah Mammoth. By the way, it looked like they leaked that on their YouTube accidentally, so I think it's gonna be the Utah Mammoth by the time he's there.
that really is his like Iguodala moment. That's his like. If I can be the head coach of any team in the National Hockey League,
Give me the Utah Mammoth.
give me the Utah Mammoth. It's like, all right, bro, chill, dude.
That'd be like 25th on my list or something. I don't know. It'd be down there.
Yeah, right. Like, hey, all right, good for him then.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Let's talk about the games that occurred last evening. It
Yes,
was a
let's
good
get into them,
slate.
shall we? Yeah.
The first one being the Sens and the Maple Leafs, which was the first game that we covered on the live stream last night. Justin gets his wish. We are going back to Ottawa for Game 6.
I get to slander both Tassos and Lite. It's a beautiful day to be Justin. It's a beautiful day to be a hater. Are you still feeling pretty confident over there? Are you still feeling pretty good about this series? It's 3-2 now, going back to Ottawa with a chance to tie it up and force Game 7, baby. I don't know, man. 4-0 wing shutout. The core four was absolutely invisible. Austin China Thews was absolutely nowhere to be seen. Unbelievable, man. It's the Ottawa Senators. How are you having this hard a time
Oh my gosh!
finishing up against the Ottawa Senators? It was always Sens in 7. It was always Sens in 7, baby. Let's go.
I think the Leafs are going to win Game 6. I think it's in the script. They're going to do it on the road. Justin, look, I said they were going to win Game 5. All right, I said they were going to win Game 5. So I'm going to say yet again they're going to win Game 6. All right. All right. I'm not saying I'm doing anything here. I'm not saying I'm doing anything. Look, the Leafs are the better team. They should have it done in Game 6, right? No, I mean,
They are the better team. Like, this should already be over. This should have been over like 2 games ago. But it's not. And again, my point stands. Outside that Game 1, it's been a close series. It has been. I mean, that was the first game since that had gone overtime. Another 4-goal differential there. So good for the Sens. Brave to Chuck. I love what he said there. A man of his word. When he won in Ottawa, he's like, "We will be back. We will be back here." And they indeed will be back. And I hope he did the same thing last night too. We'll be back here in Toronto. We'll be back here. I don't know if he did, but hopefully he did that. Yeah, and suddenly those people who made that song, who looked like they were cursing them for a sweep, suddenly probably looking pretty happy there. It's still a terrible song, but you know.
Oh my gosh, the we've got dude. I literally want to bring physical harm upon those people who made that song. That song fucking is the cringiest thing, and I can't stop. I think I pull it up on every single stream just because I want to see that guy's face when he goes, "We got
Ole's actually looked pretty decent of late.
Yes.
He's actually looked like Olmark. He's finally locking in there. So if he keeps giving Ottawa those clutch performances, that could be the difference.
Oh my gosh, dude! I cannot believe we're talking about that. Could be the difference.
Dude, the Maple Leafs are 1-13. They're 1-13 in potential series clinching games in the Matthews era.
That is
shock. Unbelievable.
Oh my God.
Unbelievable. Like how they have just had zero clutch ability whatsoever. Like it's unbelievable, man. And look, even if you're the Leafs, even if you do, still win this series in 6-7. Like, you're going to be playing a Florida team that's probably going to have Tampa taking care of in 5. That's going to be better rested. That's a way better hockey team than you are, who's won in these experiences. They're going to get, I'm sorry. No, they won't get swept if they play the Panthers. Maybe you win one game. Maybe you win one.
A gentleman's sweep?
Maybe one. I'll give them one game because the Panthers don't really sweep people. They always seem to give them one.
Yeah.
But they stand no chance against the Florida Panthers. So even if you beat the Sens team, not being able to finish the deal in 4 or 5 is a loss for me.
And it was just like nothing from the core 4. I did think Mitch Marner had a pretty solid game. I thought he was engaged defensively. He was doing a good job on the PK. He did produce a couple of good opportunities offensively, but dude, they got shut out. You got shut out in a series clinching opportunity at home against little brother, as Joe pointed out to us. That's little brother.
Against Linus Ullmark and the Senators. How do you do that? How do you accomplish that? It's almost impressive at this point. They just invent ways to lose. And it's almost impressive.
And dude, and you it's like the media circus that's going on in Toronto. Like, everybody. Like Tassos brought up the other day that we're just being lazy and bringing up the same talking point. Are we? Am I?
We're halfway there, buddy.
You just said you had back-to-back opportunities to close out the series, including one at home, and you failed to do it. What am I supposed to do? Just pretend like you aren't? What is it? 1-13? You told me.
1-13.
Well, am I supposed to pretend like they're not 1-13 in clinching games? Am I supposed to pretend like that's not the case?
We've played these games before. History repeats, especially if the Toronto Maple Leafs. It turns out we weren't being delusional after all. And in fact, the delusional people were, as usual, the Toronto Maple Leafs fandom. Oh, I can't wait to witness Mitch Marner's last 2 games in a Maple Leafs uniform. It'll be a cinema.
Justin, this is like, it would be perfect for the Chicago Blackhawks. If the
Not just for that, better draft pick too. Yes. Like, there's a lot of reasons a first-round exit for the Leafs would be brilliant if you're a Blackhawks fan. So I hope it happens. Still a long way to go. Again, like halfway there, right? Still got to take care of business.
Job not finished for Ottawa.
Job is not finished. You got to have that mentality. You should not be happy. Job not finished. Finish the deal. Like, don't tease a comeback. You got to follow through, or else it means nothing.
Do you actually, like, gun to your head, you have to pick a winner of this one? I know in your heart you want the Sens to win. I know it's, for those listening, it is a lot better for the Blackhawks, for the Maple Leafs to lose in this first round. As Justin pointed, we want Mitch Marner, but also because the draft pick we've gotten from the Leafs will be higher if they lose in the first round. But if you had a gun to your head and you actually had to pick who's going to win this series, who are you taking and why?
I mean, surely the Leafs don't actually give up a 3-0 comeback to the Ottawa Senators. Like, yeah, like this one, I could be delusional about the Oilers-Kings one. Turns out I was right. Well, not yet. You still got to finish the deal there. But that one, you could see a path. This one definitely feels a little more out there. Like, if I had to be honest here, like, I still think the Leafs are going to probably pull this out. They should. Like, in all honesty, like, yeah, you're right. Like, Tassos is right. They should. It's really not the Senators that would beat them. It would be them beating themselves, but it's not like we haven't seen that before. So, yeah, they probably respond and take it. I think you almost have to take care of it in 6, because if it goes to 7, I know it's home ice. I don't care. Game 7 in the Leafs does not mix a match. It's over. Like, they got to make it happen Thursday in Ottawa, in my opinion.
Yeah. And it's like last year, we saw them come back in awesome fashion in that series against Boston, and then lose it in Game 7.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe this could be a reverse, or maybe Justin's right. Maybe if the Leafs get to Game 7, it's like, good luck, because they just have no clutch gene. I mean, I saw somebody on Twitter say Marner and Matthews are the worst closers in the modern era, and I think that might be true. I don't know who else is. 1-13 is a shocking statistic.
Yeah, and it's not just the Maple Leafs, right? I mean, Matthews had how many opportunities to, give the U.S. to win that Four Nations game. He had like 3-4 chances, couldn't do it, and McDavid gets one. That's the game. I hate to circle back to that game again, but just goes to show not just the least thing of him. Man, Matthews, great player, right? But for whatever reason, just in those clutch, big time moments, he just doesn't have that clutch gene. I mean, look, he's young. He still has time to find it at some point in his career, but like he's also been here for 9 years now. I mean, Patrick Kane through his first 9 years and already won 3 cups in Chicago. He already had how many like playoff overtime game winning goals, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And Matthews has 1 playoff series win to show for it in nearly a decade now. I know it's not just him, it's a team, but again, when you're relying so much in that core 4, it's like, yeah, like a lot of the talk, a lot of the narratives are going to be around you. That's just kind of the way it is, right? Dude, they're investing so much salary and time into those players.
If they blow it, if they actually blow it, in the sense,
it's got to be it, right?
I mean, it's not even. The Toronto Maple Leafs are cursed. Like if they blow it this year, they're cursed. I'm not even gonna just blame. Like you can't even blame the core 4. Like the team,
not just them. Yeah.
As Joe Bartnick literally just pointed out, like they've got a good goaltender. Their defense, their blue line looks awesome. I mean,
got a good coach.
You just got a bunch of solid defensive guys, a good coach. You've got the depth now. You've got Scott Lawton as your 4th line center. You paid a fucking bag for him, bro. It's not just the core 4. If the Leafs blow this, they're officially cursed.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that, right? And you would have to think that this would be the year that they would finally break up that core 4 after 9 years. And obviously, Mitch Marner's the guy I'm referring to there, right? For obvious reasons. And maybe even JT too, who knows? But they'll lock up Nyes. But yeah, like you would think this would be the year, like because I think this would be the most embarrassing. I mean, a 3-0, come back from the Senators like in the first round. Yeah, that would be the most embarrassing when they have like our guest said, easily the best, clearest path they've had in these 9 years, the best team they've had. It looks like this should be the year they'd be able to break out the first round. I know they did it once before. Not just that though. This should be the year they'd be able to go on a run even. And it's not like we'll see. Even if they win this first round, still I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's just the lack of killer instinct they've showed me in this series. Everybody said this is a different Leafs team, but like in many ways, it's still the same thing.
Yeah, it's same habits. Same
yeah,
habits.
Exactly.
Okay, let's move on from this one into the next one, and Justin, let's give a round of applause for the Carolina Hurricanes because they finally ended this series.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy I don't have to watch any more Canes Devils hockey. I don't have to care about the series anymore. So thank you very much. Correct though, this is actually a pretty fun game.
It was a barn burner.
It looked like the Devils were going to make it a series, and they had a 3-goal lead and let up 3 goals in less than 5 minutes. Yeah. 4 minutes, and then they broke the game open again, and then they blew it again, and then they lose in 2 overtimes again. So, fantastic job for the Devils, but at least they made it somewhat intriguing, pretty interesting, and. Coming off that win, Taylor Hall just signed a 3-year extension in Carolina. So we joked about it, but no, he was the big piece. He was the big addition all along. So good for Halsey. Hopefully, we'll get to see him have a place to stay for the later stage of his career and not be moving around 24/7. So I'm happy to see Hall succeed. And for this Canes team, no, he took care of business in 5. It was actually a closer 5-game series than I expected. Like the Devils were in pretty much every game, maybe outside that game 1 where they were completely dominated, but they were in pretty much every game scoreboard wise. Markstrom stood in his head. You could tell how frustrated he was. Like he was smashing his stick on the post and nearly smashed Simone Nemitz there.
Yeah,
it was pretty funny clip. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
What's the word there? His instincts almost took over there, but he backed off against it. So that was pretty funny. But no, for the Devils, right, just making the playoffs was a win, and obviously
with how injured they are,
they were so banged up. No Hughes brothers, right? So I'm not saying if they have the Hughes brothers, they win the series, but they maybe push it. Maybe they're able to push it to 6 or 7, right?
Yeah.
But for the Canes, no, took care of business, and now I can start thinking about the second round. I think I probably favored them over the Caps, so we'll see.
And a really big performance from Sebastian Aho. I know it went to double overtime, but he played almost 30 minutes. He had 2 goals.
That's a slapper.
He had the tying goal with a few minutes left in the third, and then he was the hero in double overtime. And then for the Devils, I mean, Jacob Markstrom was
he tried.
Unbelievable. Guys. He let in 5 goals and still had a 907 save percentage.
Like 45 saves on 50 shots or something.
It was 49 saves on 54 shots.
Oh wow, even more. He
Insane.
did literally everything he could.
Yeah.
Like he almost won them this game and would have extended the series. So can't blame him. He did what he could there. But yeah, no, for the Canes, good for them, and that should be an interesting second round there. I would imagine the Capitals take care of business tonight, but we shall see. Yeah.
Yeah, and I am as bad as the Metro is, as we were talking about with Joe.
I'm actually intrigued for that second round.
I'm excited for that matchup because they had some bad blood to end the year. With the McMichael, Chatfield fight.
Yeah.
So they've been kind of the big dogs in the Metro this year. I am actually excited for that matchup. I think the Canes win it personally.
Yeah. I have the Caps in my bracket, but my brains tell me it's going to be the Canes, like you said there. I feel like that one could go either way. Like that's going to be a hard one to predict. Two very different philosophies and very different teams at play here. So we'll see where style prevails there. Should be interesting. And for Sheldon Keefe and the Devils, he's used to first round exits in the Leafs, and I see nothing's really changed there. So that's pretty fun to see as well.
You're such an ass. It's true. He's got experience losing in the first round, so he's
brought that experience to New Jersey, and I'm sure that's a team there. It's like they have a lot of talent. But I wouldn't surprise you if this is going to be a theme of this team moving forward. I see a lot of early playoff exits. Like they have a lot of skill, but not a lot of dogs. Something they're going to have to address. Yeah,
they need sandpaper, and maybe they're bringing in Quinn Hughes, so they might be able to bring.
There you go. That could be the difference maker right there. Right, the Hughes brothers all together. That would be fun to watch.
If you're the
they
Devils,
need to be available though.
If you're the Devils, would you trade Brat, Nemec, and a second round pick for Quinn Hughes?
Yeah, I mean Pratt's so good, but so some people think, it's Quinn Hughes, dude. Like it's Quinn Hughes. You could argue he's the second best defenseman in the game. And losing Pratt would be tough, but he's still got Hischier and Jack up there in the offensive core. And those other moves like Nemitz, they have so many defensemen back there, and that doesn't really move me. So it's really just Pratt that I'm thinking of there. Tough to lose a guy like that, but if you could pull it off, I think that's a no-brainer.
You say yes? Okay.
Yes, I'd say yes. Yeah,
good to know.
You?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I think it would probably have to be a little more than that, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking even.
But also Vancouver's hand might be kind of forced in the situation. Like if Quinn wants out, if you're kind of going to go for a rebuild here,
you get so much.
What do you think you're going to get fucking Jack Hughes in exchange for Quinn? Like, no, dude. Your hand's being kind of forced here. So, I don't know. We'll see what comes through that situation. I would imagine that's not going to be a this summer thing, maybe a next year thing. But we'll see.
Down the road.
Yeah. Okay, the next game up on the evening last night was the Golden Knights Wild game. Justin, we've been talking about this series extensively. Both, I think, kind of rooting for the Wild at this point. One of the weirder things I've seen in a long time. So Philip Gustafsson he starts for the Minnesota Wild. He starts in net. Obviously, he's been amazing for them all year. Marc-Andre Fleury being the backup. It's Gustafsson's been great. He has an illness, obviously, before the game, I would imagine. He plays the first 2 periods, and then Fleury comes in for the third period because he got sick more. I've never seen that before.
That is so weird. Maybe one situation would be in 2015. I remember Ben Bishop started a game for the Lightning. I think he had something going on, cramps or something. Then Vasilevsky came in at one point, but I don't know if that was really a sickness. That may have been something else.
Yeah.
Very strange. He looked all right, but yeah, Flower came in. I was not expecting to see Marc-Andre Fleury in these playoffs. And what to his credit, he did all right. He almost gave him a chance there. He almost pulled it off. Would have been nice to see. I think we both kind of called this one. I think we both said Vegas would probably edge this one out, and so far it's looking that way. I wouldn't surprise me if Wild could win back at home and force a Game 7. I still think Vegas probably going to take the series. I just think they have a slight bit more than they do.
Yeah.
But no, Minnesota, again, this game, same deal. Every game of the series has been super close, and unfortunately just narrowly edged there. Yeah.
And Hartman scored with a minute left, but then they called it back because they said it was a kick.
Yeah, that was tough. Yeah, and then there was an offsides call or something in that game too. There was another weird call.
I think so. Yeah,
I think it was against the Wild. So they had a couple bad breaks, and the Zebras in the favor of Vegas as usual. I'm just busting. I'm just kidding. Don't take everything I say seriously.
He's doing a bit. Relax. Yeah. He's doing a bit, guys. Justin, I do feel like you and I have had the script from this series. It feels like
I feel like we got this one going spot on.
I
Actually,
mean, not only big picture, but we also have like I feel like we've successfully predicted the result of like almost
like
every
every
single
game. I think so. Yeah, I wish this was the way for every series. I think everything else has been pretty much impossible to predict outside that boring Devils series that's now over. Thank God they'll be joining the Hawks on the golf course. But yeah, no, like this has been a good one. It's been a fascinating series. It's been honestly maybe one of the best for sure. I think it wasn't really expected to be, but I'd say after those big two we've been talking about all this time, maybe after the Kings Oilers, it's probably the fourth best series. I'd say. Yeah,
I agree with you, and I hope Minnesota wins Game 6 at
I
home.
think they will
force a Game 7. Although I do have money bet on the Golden Knights to win the series. I want to see this one.
This is a 7-game series. This is definitely
and Boldy have been so fun to watch. Both of them scoring again. Like they are so fucking good, dude. And again, I'll bring up the fact that Matt Boldy's getting paid $7 million for the next.
He's
5
been
years.
so good, man. Like you could argue he's even been their best. Probably Kaprizov, but he's been right there with them. Those two have been a great 1-2 punch. But my conspiracy theory. Everybody's always, I mean, not that it's not really my conspiracy theory. It's a lot of people's conspiracy theories because people were joking about the Florida Panthers. No, the Vegas Golden Knights are the Kansas City Chiefs in the NHL. Like if there is a Kansas City Chiefs, it's the Vegas Golden Knights. Thank you very much. If you look at stats, this isn't me just doing a bit here. This is actually legit. Like they get like more calls than anybody else and like less calls, like generally speaking. Like the ratio is pretty crazy there. I'm not saying that it's rigged, but like NHL does like Vegas. They're big fans of the Golden Knights.
Unlike like Florida where their like stadium is.
And there's a reason for them to succeed, right? You want to see like for the NHL, you want to see a team like that succeed.
Yes, in a city like that for Vegas, like if that franchise is doing well, like that, I mean that could be
NHL is doing well.
A big money maker just because I mean people are going to be going to those games all the time because people travel to Vegas year round are going to be wanting to go to events like that. So I would buy that. I still don't buy like the whole like NHL loves this team and they but if there was a team that maybe gets some more favorable outcomes, it's Vegas. It's not the fucking Florida Panthers.
No, two very different markets at play here for sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. Let's tee up the games tonight.
I think you're missing one there. Nice try, buddy.
I don't know what you're talking about. All right. So yeah, Wednesday slate. Got some big games tonight.
Oilers. Lee, what happened? What happened to your Kings?
Justin.
I thought they had it covered. I thought this was a guarantee for the Kings. They're going to win Game 5. Do not disrespect the Edmonton McJesuses, baby. Let's go, Oilers.
Dude, they kept McJesus and Dry off the board, I think. Didn't they?
Well, maybe they did, but scoreboard.
Oh, okay. I guess Draisaitl had an assist. And they both had an assist. But I mean, that's as good as it gets. That's as good as you're going to keep those two, just to an assist each.
It was just the fact that they won. Like this was the first game in the series. Like dominant. It was kind of Uno reverse. Like the Kings have been the more dominant team most of the games in the series, pretty much all of them up to this point. Not today. I don't know what happened in LA. Like I was not really confident about that prediction for that reason, because like I just hadn't really seen this out of the Oilers in this series. But it's like no, they took over, and the Kings just did not look like themselves. They didn't play the way they have all series that's been successful to this point. I mean, successful. I know it's 2-2, but it should have been. And yeah, they were just completely dominated by Edmonton. Like what happened? Like I generally don't know what happened there.
Dude, I mean, they played the entirety of that game the way they played the second half of the third period in Game 4. It was just like
conservative.
It's like what are you doing just standing around defensively? It was like the old like the past couple years of like going back to like the 1-3-1 trap bullshit. It was like they were just trying to lock in and play defense and not
get beat up that way.
Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. What are you gonna do? Defend them? No, that's not how you beat them. You have to overwhelm them and be aggressive offensively and beat them through their bad defense and journeyman goaltending. Like straight up. Like that's how you beat the Edmonton Oilers. You get on the front foot, you press. Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are inevitable. You are not going to keep them off the board every single night. It's just not humanly possible. We've never seen a duo like this. You have to be aggressive. And they weren't. They got outshot. I don't even want to know what the final shots were.
It was like 40-15 or something, like around there. Yeah.
Oh, my God, dude. It's just like I don't what is Jim Hiller doing? Like, what was the message going?
It's costing the team this series. Like, not just that challenge call. Like, everything's been downhill since then. And it's like, why would you shift your game plan? It's been working. Like, it makes no sense to me, man. It's like they're like conceding defeat there. It's in their heads at this point, honestly. It really feels like it's in their heads. I mean, this is a team that you've lost to 3 times before, and like up to this point in the series, you've been the better team. But it's like, oh, that seed of doubt starts creeping in. Then you start, kind of hiding into your shells there. It feels like that's kind of what they're doing there. And yeah, like I think at this point, 3 straight wins for the Oilers, taking the series lead, go back to Edmonton. I think I mean, you might disagree. I think it's done. Like, I think the Oilers take this in 6. Like, this is their series to lose at this point. No more harmonicas to save LA there. So Will Ferrell will enjoy another first on exit there. Yeah.
Justin, the only reason why I think you're wrong is because I don't think you're wrong. Like, I think LA is broken. Like, I think LA, they are broken. That performance last night was one of the most pathetic things I've seen in the NHL in years. Just like the way the script completely changed. Like, the way they played was so pathetic. And so I think they're weak mentally. I think their coach has completely lost the room. I think the team, I think I was listening, I watched a couple of Dennis Bernstein interviews over the past couple days.
In the room.
I mean, he said there was tension in the room. He got into it with fucking Jim Hiller after game 4.
Deservedly so. He deserves some retribution. Man.
He does.
Yeah.
And
I like when the media does that too. It doesn't just suck up to these guys. Yeah.
I know. Me too. I agree. I like a fair, appropriate questions after a coach of a team has 2 back-to-back gutless losses that seem avoidable from an outside perspective. I think the Kings are cooked, and I think everybody watching, if you watch that game last night, you think the Kings are cooked.
They're dysfunctional. Yeah.
But Justin, this series has been the most unpredictable thing.
No way.
Like, I learned my lesson. All right. I see people in chat, a bunch of hindsight heralds, people asking if we clipped Lee's prediction. No, shut up. I'm gonna.
No, we should clip Raven. Clip it.
Raven, I am going to strangle Raven, get on his computer, and delete the episode before you guys can clip it. But I've learned my lesson. This has been the most unpredictable series. Neither of these teams are trustworthy. Because yes, don't get me wrong, the Edmonton Oilers looked great last night, but let me remind you, they still have Evan Bouchard, Darnell Nurse playing defense for them. And they still got either Calvin Pickard or fucking Stuart Skinner playing goalie for them. So
no more Skinner. He's done.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably right, but
they haven't lost to Calvin Pickard in that.
Dude, Kings go in, win game 6. Maybe it's back to Stu for game 7 in LA. Oh my gosh. I mean, this series has just been the most unpredictable thing in the world. So I would not be surprised in the slightest if somehow the Kings decide to show life now in game 6, bring it back to LA. And then, I don't know, maybe the stadium's going to explode and neither team's going to move on in game 7. Like, who knows at this point? Seriously.
So are you gonna commit to that? You think LA still got this covered?
I think I've lost my privileges to predict this series. Like, what does my word mean anymore? Like, genuinely, what does my word mean on this series anymore? I clearly have no clue what's going on. Must be more powerful entities at play here. I mean, this is honestly reaching the spiritual realm for me, because it's like, what I need an explanation for what I watched last night.
All right, that's fair. I'll commit. I think it's done. It's dusted, and Oilers. It feels like they got their swagger back a little bit. I'm not saying they're going to go on a run like last year. I think this is second round at best, but no, I think they take this series. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, and I am not going to give a prediction. So
fair enough.
We will move on and tee up the games for tonight.
We didn't cover the Monday games, did we? Yeah.
I
mean, we don't have to if you want to. Yeah.
Do you want to go back really quick and cover those?
Yeah, just like a brief rundown. I think. A little rundown, right?
Yeah, I guess we have to talk about we got to talk about the fucking hits again. Lightning Panthers win 4-2. Crazy game. There's obviously the Ekblad hit on Hagel. He picked up a 2-game sussy for that one. There was the Mikkola hit on Gurgensen that I thought was worse than the Ekblad one, to be honest with you. Like, I thought it was like a more defenseless player situation. But I'm wrong about that too. And then there's after the no call on the Ekblad hit, the Lightning score back-to-back goals in 11 seconds, and then they maintain that 2-1 lead for most of the rest of the game until Florida scores 2 goals in 11 seconds in the third period to come back and win it. I was on the live stream. You weren't. What was your perspective on the game, on the suspensions, all of the above?
What you can do, I could do better. That's what Florida looked at, right? I mean, it looked like the Lightning had this one covered, man. We're going to tie the series. And now it's like, you're not going to win 3 straight against this Florida team. It's done. You might win 1 and force a game 6, or you might extend it out, but you're not going to win the series at this point. So it's in the Panthers' hands. And how about, speaking of those 2 goals, 11 seconds, Ekblad comes back after that. He actually had a goal before that was disallowed. And then obviously there was a hit.
Puck don't lie.
That he suspended 2 games for on Brandon Hagel. Hate to see it to Brandon Hagel for Blackhawks legend. I thought a game I think would have been fair. I think, same as the Hagel thing, but the 2 games, maybe it's a little far to me, in my opinion. I don't know if it's necessarily the hit itself. Just it was an awkward landing there for Hagel, and playoff hockey, you're going to see situations like that. So a lot of people calling for Ekblad's head there. Like, I think it's a little far-fetched, but anyway, he does. I could see it from the perspective, though, because he does come back in the game and ties the game up, and is kind of the reason they win. So I could see that being a little frustrating. That why was he still in the rest of that game? But look, he showed out. Good for them. And Seth Jones game-winning goal. Are you kidding me? Seth Jones.
Let's go, Seth.
Only Seth Jones can make me hate a Florida Panthers win. God damn it.
Did that upset you?
We're going to watch this guy lift the cup, aren't we? We're going to watch this guy lift the cup. I know it's round 1. No, we're not overreacting. Like, this team is so fucking good. Like, Seth Jones is going to lift the cup. Oh, my goodness.
Seth Jones, Stanley Cup winner. I'm not going to lie. I felt a little happy for him. A little bit.
And then he has a little interview after the fact where he's like, "Oh yeah, job's not finished."
Said,
like,
job not finished.
You're not Kobe Bryant. You're not Mamba. You're not that guy,
Bro is so unserious, dude. He did what he did to our franchise this year, and then he's gonna go fucking join the Florida Panthers, the biggest wagon we've seen in a decade, and is gonna be talking in a post-game interview, job not finished. Get the fuck out of here.
He's acting like he's the guy there. Like, you're just a guy, dude. You're not that guy.
To be fair to him, I mean, he's been getting all the workload, over 26 minutes for him in that one. Like, he's been good. He's been solid. Like, that's what Seth Jones is. Like, Seth Jones is not this like offensive juggernaut who is just going to hurt you on the power play every single night. He's not this like shut down defenseman that's impossible to get by. That's like, oh my gosh, is that fucking Jacob Slavin or is that Seth Jones? But he is a guy that's reliable enough, can go out there, play any part of the game. He can be on the PK, he can be on the power play. He's good 5-on-5. He's reliable for the most part, and that's what they're getting with Seth Jones.
Yeah, they don't have the 9.5, right? They have the 7 million, so it's actually a fair contract for them.
It's pretty good. Yeah,
love to know where that clutch ability was there in Chicago. But anyway, that's over. It's done and dusted, and I guess good for you, Seth. It's whatever. I'm not really happy for him, to be honest. You're happy for him. I'm just a big hater over here.
and don't get it twisted. I'm not being a hindsight herald when Justin and I say that, the Panthers are going to win the Stanley Cup again. We're not being hindsight heralds like all these guys who were picking the Lightning to win this series. All right?
Justin, I couldn't believe that,
Who did you have in your Stanley Cup final?
Panthers.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah,
I was right about that one. The other end, I had Colorado, and we'll see about that one, how that one goes.
It ain't over.
It's not over. It's not over. I feel better about that one than if you're a Tampa fan right now. You're probably, it feels like it's kind of done and dusted there. But we'll see. Maybe they could still pull something off here. But it felt like that was the opportunity there. They had it. They had it in their hands, and they kind of blew it there. So, yeah.
The thing is with the Pan, like I could see them losing game 5, even if they lose 5 and somehow 6. Like, they're not going to drop 3 games in a row. Like, the way this roster's constructed, the way they play the game, they stay true to themselves. They roll 4 lines every single game. It's dump and chase, hard on the forecheck, forced turnovers. It's so perfect.
They just
they're
have
the
it
best
figured
at
out.
it that they can't lose 3 games in a row.
Well, like watching this Panthers team, like I get so much flashbacks to when I was a kid watching those 2010s Blackhawks teams. Because I just feel like they're always safe. Like even in 2013, we were down like 3-1 to Detroit one series. I still felt okay. Like this team knows how to get it done. Like we're built for this style of play. Like we're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
It just feels like the Panthers are in every single game. They're in every other series. Doesn't matter who they're playing, whether it's 3-1 or wherever the series is at. It just feels like they're always in it. And yeah, like it just feels like a perfect system right now. They're firing on all cylinders. They've got it figured out, and it really does feel like they can build something there. Like not just a one and done. Like it feels like they could really build the next dynasty there. Like I don't think that's jumping the gun at all. Like,
no,
I think they're
on their
capable
way. They're on their way.
Yeah,
they're looking like they have a decent shot of winning it this year, back to back. Like they are.
Yeah.
That's not an overreach at all. I honestly wish we kind of got out in front of that before the playoffs started and said that we're, because I think it's true. Like we're going to look back on this and be like, yeah, of course the Panthers like won those 3 years. It's like this team is so much better than everyone else. And I said that, and I'm glad I said it, and I'm glad that we claimed this and we got out in front of it because then
I couldn't believe how many people were on like Tampa's like bandwagon there. Like, well, they look how they ended the season, right? And while all the Panthers guys are injured, and not really injured, they're just waiting for the playoffs, right? They're resting, they're not injured, right? And that was a question mark, the health that's been answered. And yeah, this Tampa team, like, it's not the 2020, 2021 teams. Like, it's a good team, it's solid. It's not those cup teams, and you're playing a Panthers team that's arguably better than those previous two teams that made to the finals. So yeah, like I'm not really sure how people thought this was going to be like super close. I mean, I knew it was going to be close, but like not like I saw more pundits picking Tampa than Florida, and I couldn't believe that. It was shocking to me.
I know.
Like if you guys, I don't know, whatever. It's weird to me.
Me too.
Yeah.
And that's really the best word for it. I thought it was weird too. But we are on the verge of being proven right. And let's kind of just move forward and tee this one up because we're already talking about it before we get into the Tallis Colorado game from Monday. They're playing tonight, game 5, opportunity to clinch for the Panthers in Tampa Bay, though. No Brandon Hagel. What do you think? Does Florida get it done today?
Like I think they absolutely can. 5 games does seem a little quick against this Tampa team. At home, I think you're going to see a response from Tampa. I think they're going to take one. No Hagel, so there you go, right? That's a difference right there. I'm joking. This is a joke, right? Hagel's great. Don't come at me, right? But they haven't lost when Hagel's been out of the lineup, so I'm just pointing that out. But yeah, I think then it goes back to Florida in Game 6, and they take care of business. So yeah, I think tonight Tampa takes it, narrowly edges the Panthers. A little reverse from Monday. But I could easily see it going the other way too. Like I could see Ford just kind of killing their prey here and not playing up their food because that's what they do. So I could really see it going either way. It's hard for me to predict this one, but I still think this Tampa team's too good for it to be a 5-gamer. That just seems way too no. I think this is a 6-gamer. Yeah, in my opinion. Yeah.
I'm gonna pick the Florida Panthers. I think
that's fair
because I think it is gonna be desperate hockey from the Lightning today. I mean, it has to be obviously, and so I think they're gonna be. Leave themselves open a little bit to be exposed. I'm going to be honest with you, Justin. If Tampa wins today, I'm going to pick Florida for the next 3 games in a row. I just like don't get even if Tampa.
It doesn't mean anything if Tampa wins today. Like they're done. They're not going to win 3 straight against this team.
And even if they win Game 6, I'm still going to go with Florida in Game 7.
Yeah.
I just as we just discussed.
We saw it against Edmonton last year, and then everybody thought, like that. They blew a 3-0 lead. It's done. They're not going to win the cup and not going to show up in Game 7, and they did. So it doesn't matter. Again, just said earlier, it doesn't matter what the situation is. Like they got this covered. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. We honestly don't even have to spend maybe too much time on. We should
brush over the Stars Avs. Yeah,
Stars Avs. I mean, crazy start. Stars win 6-2. Crazy start. Wyatt Johnston scores a impossible goal from a terrible angle that, quite frankly, Blackwood needs to have. And then that's followed
first shaky game of the series.
Yeah, and he's been great all series. Not on Monday. It was really bad. You can't let up a goal like that 9 seconds in. They were chasing the game from then on. Of course, like later in that first period, there's the other Stars goal that goes off of his blocker straight up in the air, and he has no clue, and he backs up into his net, and it hits his fucking that was some Chell shit, Justin.
Yeah, this wasn't the same as Game 4. Like I know it's the scoreboard says 6-2, like good for the Stars, but it's not like they dominated the Avs this game, right? They got some lucky bounces, maybe not the best goaltending for Blackwood, but look, that's one where you look at in networks, like, no, they do have an edge there, right? And it showed that game. And now all of a sudden they have a 3-2 lead in a series where maybe they've had one game that they've truly been the better team, maybe 2, but yet it's a 3-2 series here for the Stars, and they have a chance here. Going back to Game 6, though, in Colorado, no. Colorado's going to have a response win. Like, I feel it. They're going to force a Game 7. Where that goes, who knows? I feel like it could go either way at this point. Colorado's been the better team for most of the series. I think they deserve it, but Stars been opportunistic. They take advantage of every opportunity. You got to hand it to them. I think good teams find a way. And this is a team that very well could do so. They've done it against the Avs before. So I've been impressed. I kind of wrote them off. I think we kind of both, I don't know if we wrote them off necessarily, but I did say I think that was going to take care of business, and didn't quite happen. And I was slandering Mikko Rantanen too, and he finally showed out. Had a goal and 3-point game he finally delivered. So good for him. He had his little moment there against his former team. So we'll see if they're able to close him out. But no, I mean, I do have the Abs as my cup picks. I feel like I have to ride them. I have to stand by this Abs team, and I will. I still think they're going to get it done, but definitely much closer. But or maybe not, because we all said this would be a 7-game series. So maybe we shouldn't be surprised by this. I don't know.
I'm not going to lie. I was wrong about this one and I still feel like the Avalanche are a significantly better team, especially with no Hiskin and no Robertson. I feel like they've been better. They've been better for more time during this series, but this is playoff hockey for you. Like, this is how it goes. Sometimes the better team doesn't win a game.
See the Oilers Kings series too, like similar situation.
And when it's a 7-game series and it's just like you have 1 or 2 games where maybe the worst team wins, that could be all it takes in a series.
Then it gets away from you. Yeah, you gotta be perfect, right? And they haven't been the Abs. Like I did say this on the Monday show. It's like their issue sometimes is consistency, right? Where they have one game where everything's clocking, they're firing all cylinders, and the next it kind of gets away from it a bit. They're not quite. I look at them compared to the Panthers, like they don't quite have that consistency. So that's one issue for them. They don't always play to their system. Right? They kind of get out of it, they get desperate, and that's kind of when you get them off their game. And I think the Stars take advantage of that. Although I do think the Stars team is better than that Tampa team, I will say, even without those guys. I think that's the case. But yeah, if you're Dallas, you find a way, and you get those guys back. Who knows when that's going to be? But I would assume that they would be back at some point. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the team I would give Florida the biggest headache, I would say. Yeah.
That's a good point about the Avs kind of just being inconsistent and getting away from the game.
Yeah, I will say. Yeah.
And am I a little worried? Yeah. The Dallas Stars are a very good team, and they have them right where they want them, 3-2 going into Game 6. But if there's one team that's going to be able to come from behind,
that can respond,
I mean,
it's them.
The Avs are an absolute wagon. I mean, they're star-studded. They're good defensively. They've gotten good goaltending until that Game 5. Do I think the Avs can still win it? Absolutely. Because look, you go back home, you put up a dominant performance. I am a little bit worried about. I'm a little, and that dude, Justin, that's why I'm a little bit worried about Game 6, honestly, more than like if we get to Game 7, I'm picking the Avs. But I am a little concerned about Game 6 because I know for a fact everybody and their mother thinks the Avs are winning Game 6. And that's normally how it goes, is where everyone thinks one thing's going to happen and then Dallas is going to put some sneaky performance up and like
they do that, man.
Narrowly edge. So
they do that. They've done it before. We saw it that Game 3. Everybody was expecting the Avs to, easily come like that one. Game's return, and it went the other way. So the same could very well happen. This is a team that's been able to do it against the Avs more than any other. So it could very well happen. But I will stick to my guns there. It feels different from the Tampa series. 3-2 versus 3-1, big difference. Yeah.
Yep. And Game 6 is going to be on Thursday. I believe we're live streaming. I don't know. All these days are mushed together, but yes, we are live streaming. So yeah, that's the Thursday slate is a big one. So that'll be fun. Let's move along. Then.
Tee them up. Yeah.
Tee up the games tonight. Habs Canadians Game 5 at Capital One Arena. The Washington Capitals have the opportunity to close out the series here. Justin, do they do it?
They do. Yeah, this series is done. It's dusted. I think the Habs had opportunity there. I feel like to really make the series interesting at the Bell Center late at Game 4 to kind of got away from them a little bit. I think back home for the Caps. No, I think they take care of business. 5 games. I'm pretty sure that's what I had it at. So, I'd say similar to that Devils Kane series for the most part. I'd say it's gone the way I've expected. But credit to the Habs, they've at least made it somewhat interesting. Yeah,
I think I agree with you. The Capitals should finish this. Look,
they should.
And this has kind of been the case all series long. This series has pissed me off a little bit because
obviously playing their food a little bit.
I have so much money on the Capitals, and they just haven't been as decisive as I thought they would look. And
it's a close 3-1 series.
Justin, all the credit in the world to the Montreal Canadiens. I know you don't want to do that, but I mean, they have found a way to make this series at least somewhat compelling when I thought there was no chance of it. And look, I could see the Habs winning tonight. I don't think they should, but I could see it. Then all of a sudden you're going back home. It's just the same situation as the Ottawa and the Leafs. It's if they can somehow pull up a win tonight, then it's you're going back home to the Bell Center. That place is going to be rocking because it's hold up. Now there's actually belief. It's oh my gosh, if we win this Game 6 here at home,
there's belief.
We're playing in a Game 7, So
And here's the thing: the Bell Center has real fans that show up there, not the corporate, fans that show up at the Leafs game. So they have the real fans on their side. So I think they'd be able to pull something off if they were to win today. I think it is suddenly a series, but I do not think that'll be the case. Yeah.
I agree. I'm gonna go Capitals 5-3 because I think they're gonna have the Canadians are gonna have their goalie pulled for a while. So.
Oh, okay. Then I'll say 4-1 Caps.
4-1 Caps. Okay.
Yeah,
Solid.
there you go. Yeah,
We shall
fourth goal
see.
together.
I'm
Yeah.
sure because Justin and I both picked the same team, the other will happen.
Yep. Yeah, the Habs are going to just completely dominate today, and they're going to come back and make us look like fools. They've done it before against this Caps team in the playoffs. So we'll see. It's not over. Yeah.
No, it's not. We did Panthers Lightning. So
Yeah,
we,
we're
we
good
don't-
with that.
We don't have to
Yeah.
tee that up anymore. And then Blues Jets Game 5 back in Winnipeg. Will Connor Hellebuck be?
Will we blow it? Yeah. We'll Hellebuck blow the load there. This is the toughest series for me to predict, honestly. I have no clue. Like, I think the Jets, again, we've kind of said this, like, this Jets team should be able to pull it out, but just the way they looked at St. Louis, man, like, those were two very decisive wins for the Blues, and I feel like that could be just a momentum turner. I feel like the series shifted there a little bit. I have the Jets winning my bracket, but honestly, my head's kind of telling me this is the Blues series to lose at this point. Like, it really feels like all the momentum's on their side, and the Jets can very easily respond back at Winnipeg. But like, even the games they won, first two games of the series, were very close. Unlike the games of St. Louis. So, and Hellebuck, it just feels like it's a mental thing right now. It's in his head, and things seem to pile up on each other. So, yeah, I mean, the way this series is trending, it wouldn't shock me if the Blues pull out the upset here. I don't think it's going to matter. I think whoever wins the series is a second round exit. But yeah,
I agree with, like, I also picked same thing as you. I picked the Jets, but I'm like, the way the
Not
Blues
looking
have
good.
looked, I mean,
Yeah.
the Blues could have easily won game 1, and then they absolutely dominated games 3 and 4. But I do think Winnipeg going back home with all the shit that's going on, all the narratives, Connor Hellebuck, I think he's going to lock in. I think his defensemen are going to do a better job in game 5 of giving him more eyesight, getting these guys away from the crease a little bit. And also Gabriel Velarde is returning to this game, and he's going to be on the top line for the Jets. So I think that's going to move everybody down a little bit. I think it's a wake up call. It's a splash in the face. And I think the Jets are going to bounce back tonight. I'm going to say 4-2. I'm going to say 3-1 Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I did not know Velarde was returning. I'm still not going to change my mind, though. I'm not going to do that. We got to have some different picks here.
Of course.
And I don't know if that's quite enough to move the needle for me anyway. It's big for them, but not that big.
Yeah.
No, I would say the Blues take this one 5-3.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Another high scoring game.
Yeah.
Another 5 goal outpost for Hellebuck.
and that's the latest one tonight, 8:30. We're not streaming these games tonight. Sorry, everyone.
Y'all deserve a break.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
Please don't kill me, chat. Don't kill me. We'll be back for
Tassos
Thursday.
might.
Yeah, Tassos might. Okay.
What do you mean not streaming the games tonight? As he has a gun pointed at you.
That is how it goes here in CHR land. Okay, quickly here. Shall
Thursday.
we tee up Thursday?
Yeah, we'll speed run them. Game 7. Oh, sorry, Game 6.
He's getting ahead of himself over here.
It will be. I have Game 7 the notes here already. They say it's a must win mathematically for the Sens, but I actually think it's a must win for the Leafs. I think you got to avoid Game 7. I think I kind of alluded to that. So, and I think they're going to choke again. I think back in Ottawa, I think they're going to take this one and force a Game 7. I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
I mean, really close here on the sports book. It looks like Ottawa's -115, Toronto's -105.
Really?
I think the script seems like it's the Senators are destined to push it to a Game 7, and so for that reason, I'm going to pick the Leafs to win on the road May 1st. I think they'll. I mean, they have to, dude. This can't keep up forever because it's like becoming a meme. Like, seriously, 1-13 on closing games. Like, statistically, they're bound to win one of these, right? I'm going with the Leafs in Game 6 and hoping that the Lee jinx will allow Ottawa to push it to 7.
Is the meme master. I think it'd just be the funniest thing ever if the Leafs choked this. So that's my pick. I vote for what the funny thing is, right? And the memes, and that would be glorious for that economy if that were to occur.
That's fair enough. What's your score prediction?
This has been a very low score. Yeah, definitely another low scoring game. It's kind of where the series seems to be trending here. So I will say 3-2-1 win for Ottawa. Yeah.
I'll say, man, I think I could see this one actually somehow being a higher scoring game. I'll say 4-2 Leafs. I'll say 4-2
Okay.
Leafs. They get it done. They
Medium scoring game.
Medium scoring game. They put the narratives to rest. They move on to the second round. We shall see. We'll all be following. We'll be watching. Be there.
Sound like Tassos over there.
Absolutely. All right. The second game of that evening is going to be this Game 6 of the Golden Knights Wild series back in St. Paul, Minnesota at the XL Energy Center. I have a feeling I know where you're going to go because I'm thinking the same thing.
I'll force a game 7. I think they do. Back home with XL, been electric. They've been so good at home. I think they're going to force a game 7, and unfortunately, I think Vegas probably takes it anyway in game 7 back home in Vegas. But yeah, it's been a close series. I think this series deserves 7 games. I hope it's 7 games. So this is definitely a hope prediction, but I think Wild been good in this series. I think they'll respond, and they'll win this one.
I agree. I think the Wild have looked great all series long. I think it's been super close. We'll have to monitor the Philip Gustafson situation, obviously, because I think if it's Flower starting, unfortunately, I'm not going to pick him. But
he's got one more in him.
If Gustafson's, right? Imagine Marc-Andre Fleury miracle run takes them.
Vince Carter, I got one more in me.
Yeah, that'd be. Don't get me wrong, that'd be sick. I just don't see it happening.
That's a script. Nah.
Interesting though. Minnesota's plus 140 right now, which is
really,
if you agree with Justin and I, that's not a bad bet. Taking them,
it's good value. I would do that. I mean, I'm not a betting man like Lee, but that just sounds good to me. I'll be on that.
Yeah, I don't hate it at all. For this one, what's your score prediction?
I will say I'll do reverse. I'll say 4-2. Wow. Yeah.
Okay. I'll say. I mean, these have all been so close. I'll say 3-2 Wild. Boldy and Kaprizov both score again, and
that's a safe one.
And then we'll see you for Game 7 in Vegas.
Is there a game where those two haven't produced? It feels like every game.
I actually think every single game except for I think Game 4 they Boldy didn't score, but I think Kaprizov still had a point or two. So
they've been the best two in the playoffs.
They've been really good. Okay, and the 8:30 puck drop on Thursday is this Avs Stars game. I mean, I guess we don't. We kind of.
Yeah, we kind of did. The Avs did this one. They'll respond at home and they'll force it. I think we already kind of did this one up. They'll force a game 7. Yeah.
And then moving on to the big one. I guess we kind of did this one too a little bit, but Game 6 in Edmonton. You think the Kings are broken? What's your score prediction?
Yeah, they're done. They're done and dusted. Oilers are going to take this one, and I will say score prediction. I'll say it's pretty decisive even. I'll say it's a 5-2 win for Oilers. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Very solid. I'm not allowed to give score predictions on that series anymore, so I'm not going to do that. Did we get through all of our news, or did we do it? I think that might be it for the show, honestly.
One last thing, Lee. The title of the show. The NHL Draft Lottery has been set for Monday, May 5th. We are 5 days away from Michael Misa being all but confirmed in a Blackhawks uniform, which I don't know if you were on the socials the other day, but Nick Lardis put out a post on Instagram, and Misa is apparently a good friend of Nick Lardis over there in the junior land in Canada. He commented a jackpot emoji under the Nick Lardis Instagram post. Jackpot numbers lottery. I don't know, like that. What else could that possibly mean? I think Misa wants to be a Blackhawk. I don't think I'm being delusional right now. I actually think he does. Like, if you're Michael Misa, like, you want to play with Betsy. Like, that's the guy you want to play with. He wants to be a Blackhawk, and hopefully we'll see that. I think second pick, we could still get on there. First or second pick, we should be set. So top 4 pick guaranteed. Yeah.
Justin loves reading into the Instagram comments a lot. No, I'm with you. I think Misa wants to be a Blackhawk. Why wouldn't you want to join this situation right now? All these young kids that are going to be, the bulk of the team next year. If I was Michael Misa, I'd want to come to the Blackhawks too. So let's get it. Let's get the number 2 spot. Let's take Misa at 2 and move on with our summers. We have had some questions about, will we be streaming the draft lottery? My schedule's not out yet. If I am not working, I will absolutely be streaming the draft lottery without question. So
sweet.
we will keep you guys updated as far as when my schedule comes out later this week. And yeah, hopefully we will be there for that, because it could be a defining moment in Blackhawks history.
It really could. It really could be the missing piece to the puzzle there. So hopefully the last draft lottery I have to give a shit about. I'm looking forward to the day where I don't have to care about draft lotteries anymore.
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're still going to be watching next year, even if we have a 5% chance. But
yeah, just for that little tinge of hope there. Yeah. What? The Hawks have jumped up for 10th. Holy shit.
Yeah, right.
Here comes McKenna Bedard connection.
Oh my gosh, we never hear the end of it.
Oh, could you imagine?
Oh, dude, it would be dreadful.
The outburst from that. I remember 2 years ago how it was for Bedsy. That would be that on absolute steroids.
It would be times 10.
Give it to me.
I'm not saying I don't want it to happen. I'm not saying like I won't be able to deal with it. Like,
oh no, anyway.
Yeah. Oh no, other fans in the league are mad at my franchise. What will I ever do? Now I've got 2 generational talents. I feel really
have the rings
regretful.
stuck in my ears. I can't hear them.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. If you're watching on YouTube and you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do so. Hit that bell too, so that you know when we go live. Follow the Instagram, Chicago Hockey Radio. We've been growing a ton this season on there. We always are posting on our stories every time we're doing anything. We're putting links up. So if you wanna stay up to date on what's going on in CHR land, follow the Instagram. I also use the Twitter every single day. I've been having a ton of fun on there. So if you use X a lot, give Shy Hockey Radio a follow on that platform as well. TikTok too, if you use that. And then if you listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and review. If it's less than 5 stars, you can keep it to yourself. We don't like negative feedback here at Chicago Hockey Radio. I'm just kidding. We appreciate you guys. Thanks so much. No stream tonight. Stream again Thursday. Regularly scheduled show on Friday. Any last words, Mr. Justin Lynch?
No more. We move. Carpe diem. Seize the day.
Sounds good. We'll see you guys later.